This is the How Is He podcast, a deep dive into Carlow soccer with Podge and Papa, proudly sponsored by Curra Sports. Let's kick it off.
Go again. Welcome to episode 45, the How Is He podcast. Joined as always by my co-host Paul Papadoling here in the fantastic Ampifi Studios in the heart of Carlow town. This week, before we do any fixtures pop or any Podge versus Popper results, we have a man here who's under severe pressure. Yeah. A man who is a true legend of junior soccer, not only in his home county of Wexford, but nationally. If you don't know this man in junior soccer, you don't know junior soccer. He was 31 years the manager of North End, winning absolutely everything there is to win, including one FAI Junior Cup and two Leinster Junior Cups and everything in between. He was also the Oscar trainer manager on 3 occasions, winning it in 2010 with his home county Wexford. He was also involved with Wexford FC as manager and is currently head of football with Wexford FC. And believe it or not, Papa, he's a 3-time national boxing champion.
So shut me out with that.
Yeah, before he got a bad injury. Might be a different approach this week. Before he got a bad injury at 19. A massive welcome to John Godkin. John, how are you?
Good, Podge. Thanks to meet you. How are you, Papa? Good to see you again as well. Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on.
A familiar foe.
Yeah.
You're a man in demand, are you, John?
No, not really. Just busy at the moment, which is great because the League of Ireland, as you know now, the season really is just kicking off. And it's probably the busiest period ever at the start of the season. It gets easier now when the season kicks off.
Yeah.
Looking good. Our first team are in Pats tonight, actually. They're mainly based in Setu, Carlow IT.
Right.
But they do Tuesday nights in Pats as well. Right. And it's great. Maybe some of the viewers might want to go along some Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Stephen Elliott's there. He's a very good, very amenable to get nice guy, and anyone wants to go along and have a look, I'm sure he'd be only happy.
How has he settled in, John?
Very, very good. He's busy. I'm going to say this now. I'd say he's the Damien Duff of Division 1 this year.
Oh, go away.
Yeah, very similar. Good. Very similar.
What do you think of Damien Duff, Papa?
Psychopath. He's all the way he approaches the reporters and all. I'm like, is he going to hug him, answer the question, or give him a box? I don't know what's going to go on with him.
But Stephen is actually playing the game from the sideline, and it's genuine. But he's so enthusiastic. His intensity is, I think, is hopefully going to. We have a very young side this year, and hopefully that's going to go into the players. But I think everybody's very happy so far. Training sessions are good. His approach is good. I think the style of football they'll play this year will be different.
Okay.
But it's a big test. Like Division 1 this year is, as you can see, League of Ireland is starting to grow again. And Division 1 will be very competitive. It's the first time there's no full-time team in it for the last number of years. So Cork are gone, Galway and Waterford have gone back up to the Premier. So the Premier Division has a full list of full-time clubs. And then Division 1, probably bar Dundalk, are nearly all semi-professional now this year.
It's striving towards it though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think what's worrying now is the gap between the Premier League in Ireland and Division 1 is going to get wider unless you can go full-time in Division 1 in the next couple of years, and that's going to be really, really important, and I think that's key for every club now if you want to be able to compete.
You're looking to get up obviously quick as you can then.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Will a third tier help that?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what the third tier will do. I think what it will do is put pressure on teams in Division 1 who are probably just middle of the road at the moment, and just sort of plodding along every year, because there will be relegation and promotion again. So that's what will change it.
Yeah, so at the moment there's no punishment, isn't there?
No, you finish bottom of Division 1. Like, look at Wexford, were there for a good few years, and 9th, 10th, and no real pressure on you. You had your stats.
What's the repercussion there? Not just that's it. You're in the division the following year.
In the division following year. That's exactly. Right. But that will change now. So they're talking about it being a pyramid system, and so what they'll have is a North and a South Tier 3 for the first 2 seasons, and let that stabilise, and then what will happen? They'll go promotion, relegation with the top of, say, South League 3 versus North League 3, and then the winners go into the Division 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We have a referee jumping ahead about 19 questions. Come here, tell me this. Boxing.
Yeah.
Did you play soccer at all?
I did, actually. Wexford, probably the biggest competition for any kids is the Mini World Cup. It's called.
Oh yeah, every county had one of them, didn't they?
So won that at under 10. Played with some great players, and won that at under 10. Played Gaelic at under 10, same as anybody. But just got into the boxing at a very young age. So from 8 years of age, I was involved in it. Probably it's the sport I was probably naturally better at.
Right.
Playing the other sports was great, but probably wouldn't have been a natural soccer player.
You didn't feel you worked as hard at boxing as you did at soccer.
Yeah. So got into a little scrap as you do in school one day in the CBS, and teacher said to me, you had to do grinds after work or after school, or you had to stay back, or you go to the boxing club tonight. Be there at 6. I was there at 6. So that just took off.
That you?
Yeah, on the Christian Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
So,
and 3 national titles.
Yeah, 3 national titles at, say, what you call youth level and schoolboy level. Yeah. And then I went to the 19s final, won my first year at 19s, and I was beaten by a guy called Tony Dunlop, who went on to become a professional. Yeah. So I would have been 17 boxing in the 19s age group. And then the following year I went into the, what's called, it's intermediate now, but it was junior. So if you won a junior title, you went straight senior. And if you didn't, you had 3 shots at it. So my first year in it, I went straight to the final. I got a bad injury in the semi-final, couldn't fight in the final. Go ahead. And never went back after that. Then,
that must be heartbreaking, yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
You said you were 17 fighting 19s. Was there no 17s? Or was it just because of...
No, at that stage, once you come out of 16, you're adult.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you come into 17, you're in what's called, they brought in the 19s, which was sort of an interval one, but you could still box in the intermediates, or you could box senior at 17 if you're good enough, but you had to win a junior title to go senior. So my first year I went for it. I was actually into the final. I'd beaten the favourite in the semis, and the guy that I was going to meet in the final I'd actually beaten twice that year. But I ended up in hospital. I had a bone graft going from the hip into the hand, and it never really healed. So I actually that year I would have, if I'd have went into the seniors, I would have, my club mate at the time was Billy Welch.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, it's Billy.
He's the face of boxing, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's in America, right?
He's American, yeah. He's the head coach there now. So we would have trained all our lives together, and we grew up. So I would have went senior that year. Both of us would have been in the same weight, but our coach was even thinking about one of us going up and one of us going down. But unfortunately it didn't work out that way. Yeah, so Billy goes on to greater things, and then I go back through a different route, and sometimes that's fate. But I always brought those principles of boxing, and I probably think it stood to me in good stead when I went into managing and in other walks of life. But I look at for 2 years.
What do you mean the principles of boxing? What's that? Why?
I think
discipline.
I think training was critical, because if you're in the ring and you're not fit, you're going to get hurt.
Of course, yeah.
But I tell you what it done as well. I think boxing makes you an independent person, so you're not really relying on anybody else making decisions for you. Bar your coach, you take on everything. But when you're in there, it's what you're doing. Right? You're on your own. So I always felt that making decisions, and even later in life when I got into sort of really challenging at a higher level, I never found decision making that difficult. I found that easy enough once I thought I was doing the right thing or making the right decision. No, you'd always...
Does it make you adherent? It makes you more adherent to things, like you're on time the whole time, your decision making's better, it probably gives you a better look.
Well,
do you know?
It does, and as well as that, I think it gives you confidence in yourself.
Oh yeah.
I think that's something that you don't realise at the time when you're young, but when you get a bit older, people say, why do you not fret over a decision, or if you've made a big decision, how do you feel after leaving someone else? So once you're doing the right thing and you're doing it for the right reasons, and you can communicate it properly, I said it's not rocket science.
That's crucial as a coach, though, isn't it? Yeah, to do that now, as you said, brought into your soccer career.
Yeah,
like you don't have to roar and ball and shout at it. Yeah, you can get your point across by listen to me. Yeah. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to explain it to you, nice and simple. Yeah, here's the way it is. Yeah, and just do it.
Yeah,
tell me, 100%. Did you give up all sport?
I'll be honest. For about 2 years after that,
did you struggle mentally?
I struggled. I did. At the time, you don't. Back then, we never talked about mental health. Back then, you're talking about 82, 83. So really, I suppose you went on the gargle a bit, and you were always sort of felt the world owed you a bit. And I was sort of going out with a girl at that time. We got engaged, and she was saying, "Look, you can go 2 ways now. You can miss everything, or you can get back involved." I went back playing a bit then, so I got back playing with North End. Yeah, went back to the local GA team, got to a county final with them that first year. Played with North End, mainly played with what was called a reserve division then, which was first team and reserves. They would travel every week together, play the same teams, and so you'd be in and around the first team. And then about 24, 25 I got into the first team. I was part of North End's first Premier winning team, because they'd only won one before I went in managing.
Cool.
Yeah, and that was 1986.
Who was the big boys back then?
Billy Dodd would have been manager, a great GA star in Wexford. Ross Celtic were the kingpins.
Were they?
Yeah, Ross were serious team. They'd won a Leinster Junior Cup in 83. Only Wexford team ever to win one up to us. And then they also were in an FAI Junior Cup final in around the early 90s. But Ross were very, very dominant force, and from that moment in time, I was looking at, Ross Celtic. I've always said this, and I envied him. I looked at North End. We had some serious players that came through the ranks. I mean, guys that could play at top level, but only ever won one Premier League, which was probably really
underachieving, sort of.
Underachieving, that's the word I'd say. And then I used to say to myself, if I got in there as manager, like, just get these lads into shape.
How old were you now? What age are you talking?
I was then coming 28, 29, so I took my first manager's job at 29, 30.
Was North End your first club?
First club, yeah, as a manager. Never managed anywhere else before that. So
I
I just went into the reserve division and I took over a Division 2 team.
Yeah.
And we actually won the Wexford Cup Division 2.
Oh, go ahead.
And then I got the first team job on the back of that. Yeah, so
the Wexford Cup would have been like all the clubs in it, first teams, everything, the whole lot.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's a funny story to that one though. I'll give you. That year I was managing what's called the B team, the reserve division team, and we won the league, won it well, and I was still playing with the first team. So the first team got beaten in the cup quarter final by Ross Celtic. Our third team which was Division 2 team, had got a really easy passage through, got to the quarter final, and at that stage we had 3 or 4 lads out suspension with the first team that were coming back but weren't cup tied. we had right, no, it was funny. We had 2 GAA players playing for Wexford who got put out of the championship, Billy Dodd, Shawnee O'Shea.
Yeah.
And then we had a guy come back from a cruciate ligament who was ex-pro in England. Mick Mulligan was his name. You might have heard him, was a great soccer player.
Yeah.
So I brought them all into the second team. We went on, got to the cup final against Ross Celtic, who put the first team out, and we beat them 4-1 in the final.
Go away.
And that from there, then after that, I got into the hot seat. It wasn't even planned or anything at the time.
Yeah.
So I got into the hot seat then, and then from that on, then we just kicked off from there. Like,
talk to me about coaching pathway, as in courses. Did you get on the ladder earlier?
Yeah, no, I did. But back then, I think. What did I do? It was a different setup then. We done first of all level O. Then you went to senior intro. Then you went to youth cert. Went to youth cert, and then I stopped because I'll be honest. I just personally I felt myself like these are okay, but what am I really getting out of them? Like, you know what I mean? You're picking up really how to coach, how to do sessions, but I wasn't sure if it was making me tactically better or if it was educating me say on the football side. So what I actually done was I actually signed a player up in Dublin. Early 90s called Owen Quigley, hurled for Wexford as well, and I asked Roddy Collins and Liam O'Brien could I spend time up there as part of the deal, watching their sessions, seeing what they had done, blah blah blah. Liam O'Brien was only back from Man United, so I spent a week there twice that year and I really loved it.
Bows,
they won. I think they won the double 2000, so it was that team around that time. Then I spent a bit of time in the UK, so I spent a bit of time at Cardiff City under Dave Jones. And I go to the sessions, so I get in and I spend time there. And I actually, to be honest, I thought that was more beneficial. I go and watch teams train, and I pick up, as much as you
warm
could.
Up and just kind of crack.
That, and even I'd ask him I spend a bit of time with Stephen Kenny, and it was behind closed doors one day, and I was asking him, "Why are you doing this, Stephen?" And he said, "We just practice this. We're going to beat the opposition tomorrow." Now I'd say he done it like shadow play on the field.
Right.
Done it for probably an hour, and nothing was coming off halfway through the session. Whatever else, we kept at it. They won the final next day 3-0, and 2 of the goals came from
the same patterns.
Practice the day before, same patterns. Niall McGinn actually scored 2 that day. It was a League Cup final in Wexford. So I found then that I'd done the badges up as far as that level, but never went any further.
Right.
And I then spent as much time as I could watching or going to watch coaching, or I suppose feeding off the best, or learning from the best. It's different nowadays. Nowadays, if you don't do your coaching pathway, you don't get a position. So back then, I wouldn't have got a position if I hadn't have done that. Even League of Ireland, you could go into League of Ireland without any badges back then. Like I had a couple of offers to go to Waterford when I was 35, 36, and there was another one to go to Longford. But at the time, you didn't need any badges. Yeah, it was just a different pathway. Now it's all about badges.
You have to have them now, don't you?
Yeah. But even. What's fascinating is your networking skills obviously are extremely high if you can get over to Cardiff and get in to see Boz. How does that come about? Do you make contact to make a call or just chance your neck?
I suppose you just get to know people and you build relationships with them. It's not to be like most of these people are only too glad to let you over there. Like I got into Cardiff, no problem whatsoever, and I'll never forget it. But even let me go out onto the field and take the warm up one day, and take a session for 10 minutes, and once they started to be confident that you knew what you're about, There was no issue with him, but like Roddy Collins was part of the own Quigley deal. Roddy, I need to go for a week or two, so no problem. Yeah. But you learn from Pete Manning, you learn from Liam O'Brien. They were the assistant coaches. Even to be fair, Brian Kerr, like we would have played Pats in the Senior Cup. We played Athlone Town back in the early 90s, and all about 2 and 3 busloads of fans from North End going to watch these games. And I always ask, like, any chance of coming up some weekend or anything you do to help us on the coaching side. And sometimes they'd even send coaches down, to teach you or learn you new things. But I found the coaching and doing the sessions is really important. You need to be able to change that over 31 years if you're not changing it. But coaching and managing, I definitely learned early on, are completely two different things.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I suppose you can have really good managers. There might not be great coaches.
Agreed.
And vice versa. You have great coaches who will never make it in managers. So now it's like a combination. Back then, tactics, coaching probably wasn't. It was more about really getting yourself fit. Like I introduced a load of boxing disciplines to the soccer team. Used to bring him into the boxing club as part of pre-season.
I was just about to say,
and it was different.
Pre-seasons were good, I'd say.
That was different, and it was, but I would have learned very early on this thing about running around fields all day long. That doesn't know what any good. Like, it gets you fit, but if you're able to run and work with footballs and do all your exercise and all your drills through footballs, then all of a sudden it brings you to another level. Like
my club Hanover have only won one league, Andy or John, and it was the year we went in with Andy Larkin. And do you know Andy?
Yeah, I do know Andy. Yeah,
Andy is a gent, right? But Andy had us in, and we weren't. If it was bad weather, we'd only have grass pitch obviously at the time. Yeah. Down the top pro gym, boxing training. And my God, is that different training? Yeah. Circuit training in and around. 45 minutes is all it was. Yeah. But you're going, it was, and you want to see the stamina of the lads, the strength up top, not being shoved off a ball. Yeah. Different things that they were losing in games before that. And I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. And then you used to get into the ring with Andy and
it's good. And it's great crack as well.
Land the punch and punch me if you can, but you couldn't.
It's great for team spirit and team building.
Brilliant.
But what it does, I think it gives lads confidence. When I go on that field, fitness is not going to be the problem.
Yeah.
No.
So you work at and then we do the pre-season, and then what we do is we work very, very hard on the football side, because you got to be able to use the football, as well as that. But it was fun. I'll tell you a funny story. You like this one. But when I took over the first team, the first year, say 3 or 4 lads I would have played with, I would have lost them straight away, because I said, lads, when we're training this year. You don't train, you don't play. It's as simple as that, because we had some of the best North End lads, and I mean, lads that turn up on a Sunday, guaranteed their place. Yeah. But it never got them across the line that when it mattered, right? And I said, you got to change the attitude here. So I was downtown probably 4 months into training, and I met Mick Smith's wife. Mick was a great player, super talent, right? Wanted to left foot, could have played anywhere, hated training. Wouldn't train, just complete opposite. So she came over to me, she's like, I can't believe, she said, Mick is going 2 nights a week training with you, and you're not picking him, and the chap's not getting a game. And I said, I knew there was something funny going on. I said, oh, look, it is what it is, So I met Mick about a week later. So Mick was going out of the house every Tuesday and Thursday with a gear bag or to the local pub, 6 or 7 pints.
What do you mean?
And but it was funny, back at that time. And I didn't hang him right now.
But,
I think he did get caught eventually. Yeah. But no, that was the big thing. And look, I lost some friends maybe early on when I went into the management side. Yeah. But to me, like, if I lost them as friends, that was their problem, not mine. Yeah. The rule was you trained or you didn't play. Like.
Yeah, but you lost a couple of friends, but you gained respect to hundreds.
We did through our first year. Like, we won the cup again with the first team, and then we went on and won 4 in a row in North End. So that first 5 year to me, like, that was, I was straight away, I was on a high.
Of course,
winning 4 leagues in a row, winning a cup the first year. So we won a trophy every year I went in, and I brought in a lot of young lads, 17, 18 from the underage squads, and they came in then and then, got rid of, say the older guys that probably were the lads that could have won a lot more trophies. Yeah. So the likes of Darren Brown came in, Pat Sinnott, Jeremy Byrne. Darren Brown went on to have a great League of Ireland career. Like, he was 17 when he came into the first team. Jeremy Byrne was only 16, 17. These guys went to Millwall, and we're unlucky not to make a career out of it. But that team was a serious team.
But the success, John, because I find that very hard. Say my first big job in junior soccer would have been my own club as well, right? And I found it very hard because a lot of lads I would have either played with or I know very well or were good friends. But see, the difference is you had success. Do you understand me? So that the
Picking up a
success
trophy
can
is crucial,
deflect.
yeah.
Can deflect from your relationships because now I'm winning.
Yeah.
So our bond
Yeah.
emotionally means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
So in that sense you're probably lucky. I don't mean lucky that you won, but lucky in the sense that this is actually easier managed for me now because we're winning.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you, what lane are you in? Are you coach or manager?
I probably manager, I would say, is my biggest asset. How to handle people, how to deal with situations, knowing what makes a player tick.
Yeah.
You know, knowing what's he like coming into training night or something not right here, or there's an issue here. You know, I'd probably be a very good judge of character, and a lot of it comes from like my job outside of football is sort of operations management.
Okay.
So I would have done a lot of HR stuff and all that type of work, but doing a session and getting in on a session, like I can do that no problem. I can, you know, I load of confidence in doing it. The thing about it now is that I think with youngsters nowadays, and especially kids coming in at say a senior level, they believe the training session that they do or the session that they have makes or breaks a good manager. I'm not convinced by that. I think there's a little bit of you're watching telly too much and you're watching the pep drills and all that. Like, and they are important and they are good, but a good coach, like, he seriously has to change up every single year, every 12 months, because when you're doing 50 sessions a year or 150, you need to have variety and you need to be able to change it depending on the needs and how the team are doing and where the weaknesses are and so on. Yeah, facilities. But they're both really critical, but I think most managers will be able to handle themselves technically on the field.
Yeah.
Most good coaches will struggle with management.
I'd agree.
Yeah, it's easy. It's harder to go that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd agree, but I would also say that to be a great manager, you have to have coaching insight.
Yeah.
Because you're not only managing players, you're actually managing the coaches as well. Yeah. So for me, a good coach hits topics. So defending, playing up from the back, pressing, whatever it may be, final third. And you work on that for the cycle of it being 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 sessions. You nail it, move on to the next one. And it goes in that circle then.
Yeah.
I think that makes, but that only works if the relationship is good with the manager and he understands that cycle as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the difficult thing.
Yeah, and a coach would never pick up on, like you said, about your management skills.
Yeah.
A coach would find it hard to pick up on, this lad needs a slap, or this lad needs a hug.
Yeah.
Where a good manager will always see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pull this lad aside and I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
And say, what's wrong? Come here.
Yeah.
And just pull him out training, go for a pint with him or go for a cup of tea or something.
Yeah.
And that conversation with him for 20 minutes would mean the world to him, rather than being devoured by your coach. You haven't a clue what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
Fuck off and leave me alone. I'm leaving this club.
But the coach always leaves arm around the players and paddy with the players.
Yeah.
When it comes to decision making, that's where the coach steps back.
Yeah.
And I know, but to be fair, one thing I'd probably say as well, that from the day I went in as management, I was always, and this probably, I don't know if it comes to instinct or just the way you think, but I always surround myself with good people.
You have to.
So and people that you could trust. Like one of the guys that I brought in straight away when I took over at first was a guy called George Brown. Now, George had been with every underage team. He'd been there, done it, he knew all the young players. Do you know the type of guy that comes over to you in a game, says one thing to you and says just he has that 100% right, but never says much.
Yeah.
He came in, and then I brought in an ex-player who would have known the dressing room fairly well, who probably himself never won the trophies he should have won for the player and the talent that he had. So I was always lucky enough to be able to bring in the right. Now, you'll get it wrong sometimes, you're never 100% right, but I've always had really, really good teams and really good people with me. But people in that dressing room that even when things weren't going well, you know, they were sticking together and that we'd see it out, or if we had to adjust or make changes, you'd make them. But there was none of this going back and saying, "Oh, this fella's picking you and I should be picking you," and you know what I mean. There was never any sort of undercurrent in the dressing room or even with the panel, because as you said, if you're winning, it's easier to be able to make those decisions 100%. But also the people that you bring in with you, the fact that you can trust them and work with them, to me that's critical. Like,
but the respect is obviously straight away, both ways.
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah.
If you're picking up trophies with it, you're bringing in, obviously by the people brought in by you, you've covered every single angle. He knows every juvenile that's come up through the club. Yeah. He's an ex-player who should have won a lot more trophies than what he's done. Yeah. Let's win it together as a group now, and you have your management skills.
Yeah.
There's the tree, a pack of three that's super. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then it's obviously after reflecting straight away on the team.
And them young lads had won doubles, some of them coming up at underage. So, as George even said to me, he said, I don't know if I'll be able to handle them as young adults. Now they're different. You know, they become, you know, you just have to become cock a hoop. And 14, 15, 16, you can get away with anything to any kid because they'll take every word. They're like sponges. But when they get the young adults, he was saying, I'm not so sure if they'll, you know, if they'll take to me now and show me the same respect. But he says one thing they will do is always remember that I was successful with him. So I'll have a different type of respect, he said.
Yeah, of course,
he's a shrewd man, you know, and he taught me a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I was only 30, 31 at the time.
Yeah.
So I was learning.
Yeah, of course,
So he used to throw me as the bad dog and he was the good dog.
There's always John.
But he was good at it.
No, but you definitely, I've B licensed, but I definitely think, and I'm not trying to compare myself to John Godkin, I'm genuinely not, but it is the sound bites that actually give you the insight.
Yeah.
It is that person on the line. Yeah. Their fullback's gone inside the last 5 times. You have a look at it. It is them little sound bites where you learn. Yeah. I find. And you develop much quicker and much better than you would ever on, not disrespecting the coach and pathway, but you develop better than you ever would in them pathways.
Yeah. Well, what's brilliant at the moment with the coaching pathways is the amount of technical skills and I suppose even leadership skills that it's given a lot of good young coaches. I will be honest, I've seen some coaches have come into me with elite A license courses, A license courses, and yet there's no practical skill there whatsoever or no experience. So if a kid comes into me at 26 with all the coaching badges that you can see, I'm saying, how's he been able to do all that? And how has he been able to get experience, practical experience, real life experience? And most of the cases they haven't.
No.
And I've seen some coaches go in with, say, underage kids and they're looking around saying like, you know, is this guy for real?
Yeah.
And we were just talking in the car coming up with James. Like James was at Arsenal when he was a kid. He played there, and you know he's been around. He coaches 13s and 19s now. And if you know the game, I think you know the game. How to portray it and get it across sometimes is where the coaching courses comes in and makes you better. But a lot of the time you either know it or you don't know it.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot of stuff out of textbooks. Like I have engineers in work coming straight out of college and they wouldn't have 2 fingers to wipe their buttocks, right? Yeah. And yet the guy that's been an apprentice who's gone the hard route becomes the best engineer.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
So there's practical and theory, and it's getting that balance right, I think.
No,
and I'm not sure the FA you have that right yet.
No, you're 100% spot on, and it goes back to the kind of old school thinking of on the job learning, right? Like you said, the guy out of college who hasn't been on the job learning, and the guy who probably left school at 16 but has been learning for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
31 years at North End. 31 years. Was there any break?
No break. Probably in hindsight, and this is probably a good part of the story, in hindsight I probably should have left 2006, 2007. So 2006 we just won a double, going through probably the start of a third generation of team. So in the time I was there, I'd say I definitely would have had 4 different what you call eras,
of course,
different squads, right? That year, 2006, we just done the double. I had 7 18-year-olds that broke through. We were outstanding that year, really, really good. And League of Ireland set up in Wexford. So Mick Wallace came in and set up Wexford FC. Wexford Youths, actually, right? So I better be careful with the 2 different names.
Yeah.
There was a reason for the 2 different names. But so Mick came in, we lost 11 in one foul swoop, right? I knew the following year we were going to struggle big time. I spoke to people at Wexford Youths about maybe getting involved, but I'll be honest, and I like Mick. I've always liked Mick, but I'd have different football principles than him.
Yeah. And
I always said to Mick, I said, Mick, you're able to afford your hobby fair dues to you. He has Ferry Carrick Park out there.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant. It wouldn't be there without him, right?
Yeah.
But you know, someone can afford their hobby, and you just didn't really. I didn't want to be associated with the principles and the way Mick wanted to play the football game, right?
Yeah.
So I decided no, it wasn't for me, right? I had another offer at that time to get involved with Waterford at underage level, and I decided no, look, it's a tough time in North End, so look at anybody can
jump through
the good times. I said no, I'm going to stick it out, right? We struggled, we got relegated, so I got North End relegated as well. I didn't put that on the paper.
Did you?
Yeah, it was the only time they were relegated. So relegated, we were just I think play off at the end of the season. But you're talking about now a complete new team. So everyone that played with the second team or third team became your first team players the following year. But as well as the 11 that left to go to Mick Wallace that I lost, Keith Furlong, John Foley were retiring. So club was in a bit of turmoil, got relegated, and I said, look, as we can't. So we got some of the players out of retirement.
Yeah.
Started to learn more about myself because started a few players that I would have said I was looking over not to be first team players.
Yeah.
Became some of your best first team players.
Yeah.
One or two lads wanted to start to come in as well. Because we've been successful, lads from around this is when it started to bring players in from outside North End. So we got a couple of players in, and then we got promoted. Won the Wexford Cup as a Division 1 team, and everything kick-started back then. People were seeing, hang on, I've had me 4 years and Wallace is out here now. This is not what it's supposed to be. So we're starting to get players back again. So that kick-started probably what was going to be the greatest era the club has had, right? But I learned an awful lot about myself that time. So whilst I could have left, I went in Oscar trainer manager that time as well. And when I went in Oscar trainer manager, that was a big challenge for me because now I was going in, I was struggling to keep motivated at club level. So this was giving me, a sort of a motivating for me.
It does that, doesn't it, though?
Yeah,
honest to God, it does.
So we went on, we won it. Wexford's first and only time.
They only have one.
Only ever won one yet, so it was the first and only time. Yeah, we won't go through that. Papa done the dirt on me one year.
That was a myth, wasn't it, John? Remember that? 3-0 up at half time.
I know this was going to come But
crazy.
we went on to win it, and then got beaten 2 semi-finals the next 2 years. We could have went on to win another one, but young Lee Chin and actually Spot Murphy had only come back that year, so we won the Oscar trainer team with 9 Division 1 players in Wexford. And remember, we had a League of Ireland team where our best players were actually out there as well playing at the time.
Brilliant.
So I think that then it actually gave me more confidence. When you win an All Ireland of any type. Plus, I suppose my name was getting maybe more outside the county as well. And then players wanted to sort of look and I said, I want to go to North End because I said, why can't win a Club All Ireland? Why can't a Wexford team win the FAI Junior Cup? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we started to get players in, and then we really kick-started. So from 2010 to when I finished, it was just the trophies were just flowing, doubles, But we were that was the best era ever. 2 Leinster Junior Cups in that era, 3 quarter-finals Leinster Senior Cup,
FAI Junior,
3 semi-finals Leinster
FAI
Junior Cup, semi-final FAI. The whole thing kick-started. And so that 3 years while I was in adversity, and at times I was probably saying, what am I doing here? And when I look back in hindsight, it was the best learning I had. Yeah, it was better than the first 4 or 5 years when I actually won stuff.
What's your idea of success when you're at the height of it? You're talking about a journey there from when you got promoted up, things kick-started. You're talking about Leinster Junior semi-finals, winning Leinster Juniors, winning FAI Juniors. That's the height you can go. What is your idea of success at that point?
I think if you look at as a person, that the players that come through you become better players and better people. That to me is the biggest success, because if you do things right, performances will get you results, and results get you trophies. So I think the biggest thing for me is, did everybody that go through you come away with a good experience, and did they respect the fact that you hopefully at least give them an opportunity to go to the next level? So a lot of players have come through my hands at League of Ireland.
That's
a
super answer. You think your structure as a manager with clubs have helped players off the field become better men? Yeah.
To me, that, as I said to someone recently, I talked to some of our underage managers. When you see the kids come up and high five them down on the main street or wherever they see them, that's respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me. But when you're working with a lot of egos, remember, a lot of these lads are egos as well when they get to a certain level. I had players come back from England, players come back from League of Ireland, and they supposedly worked under some of the best managers ever. I was only learning afterwards that from a managerial perspective, some of them players were actually treated like pieces of meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can get rid of you tomorrow, bring in someone else.
Yeah.
It's different at amateur level.
Yeah, of course,
lads are
You're
working.
relying on lads.
Lads have families, and you got to balance around that. But I found that once you get them guys motivated and behind whatever you wanted to be behind, I think you can achieve whatever you really want. And success and winning comes really from, I think, the foundations that you put in.
Brilliant.
You will if you put in the right foundations, you will be successful.
How
looking
important
at quality as well.
How important is patience in that process?
It's very important, and it's probably not something I'm blessed with, to be honest, because it's when you get older and you're there longer, you have more patience.
Yeah.
When you're there very, very, like there's things that I see some managers now, and they're jumping into, and I say, lads, relax, chill a little bit. Now that was me 10, 15 years ago, and I'm saying to them, honestly, I've been there, done that. And when you say that to them and explain, they say, okay, you know the way people de-jerk sometimes. Now I'm talking about some footballers who are going, who these are going to be some of the best coaches in the country in the next few years. Like, I'm saying, lads, why, if you do that, what are you going to achieve by just jumping in straight away and, you know, making a knee-jerk reaction? When I'm showing them that I'm the boss, I say, you don't really need to show me, you might need to show me you're a leader.
Of course, yeah.
And again, there's a difference there as well. But I genuinely believe that you will be successful if you do things right. Like, I'm a winner. I hate losing 5-a-sides. Yeah. I hate, even in training, like, I'd keep it going 5 minutes if I was on the team that was losing and extra time, joking, but you have to be a good loser to be a good winner. And I've learned from losing as well, that 3-year period, that not everything goes your way. Yeah. Work at it.
If you lose at manners, John, you'll be graceful in defeat, but you'll be, as you said, you'll become a super winner. Yeah. That you'll really enjoy it with your teammates. Yeah. But have a little bit of respect for the other team who just got beaten. Don't rub it in their faces, whatever you do, and then just go celebrate with your team, and you become a better team player for the team that you're playing with. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It really is.
Well, you look at Papa and you look at the best teams that have won stuff in Carlow, right, over the years. It's the ones with the strongest panel. Yeah. Right? How
not depth now. No. As in strongest, as in quality, commitment. Exactly. That might only be 15.
Exactly. But you look at nowadays, and I see it quite a lot in clubs, like where lads are moving quite a lot, and I'm a sub on that team, I want to go to play with that other team. Now, my motto, do you want to just play every week, or do you want to be successful? Because sometimes you can't play all of the time if you want to be with a successful club. Correct. It's just impossible, right? So I always believed in, I'd rather lose a player, no matter how talented he was, if he didn't want to become part of the group. Because if you ever want to be successful in, say, Leinster Junior Cups, FAI Junior Cups, you're going to have 50 games. So I say to a player, if I'm trying to coach them to join our end, would you rather play 30 games at that level or play 25 when your season's over with another club? Yeah. And that's the way I used to put it to them. And they'd look at me, what do you mean? I said, well, if we're going to have 50 games and you're going to be on the bench for 20 of them, you're still going to play 30
games, yeah.
Yeah. At a proper standard.
At a higher level. Yeah. And you're going to come away with an All-Ireland.
Yeah. Write that down quick.
Don't worry, you don't have to write that
down. But and then players say, well, I'm only going to get 25 with a team that are mid-table anyway. Yeah. 26, because you're not going to be successful. You're going to be a middle of the run team, and I think, but again, if you're winning, it's easier to persuade them. Yes,
of
course,
they go hand in hand. But I don't think it's luck either, though. I think it's luck. It's luck to a certain extent, but I think it's having the belief. It's believing in what you're doing. If you don't believe it as well, and you get found out very easily, like. But I found that is really, really critical. Like,
it's the modern era, though, John, because the younger lads now that are 18 or 19 or 20, they're not like when we were 18 and or 20. You're playing a game of soccer and you're going down for 2 nights drinking afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's like they're into the gym. Yeah. They're going, Jesus, I go and train Hanover Harps, a great bunch of lads, bit of crack, always a bit of crack at the weekend. Haven't won a trophy in a couple of years. Then you walk. Picking up trophies to beat the band. Yeah. Like, not the great. Like, New York, the only disrespect in New York is that their pitch is probably hurting them at the moment. Yeah. But they're picking up trophies, super bunch of players, and the younger managers are coming in and they're just, you're probably guaranteed a trophy there every single year. Yeah. And like you said, you mightn't start every game. There is the players, the Dean Kellys and all that start every single game. Yeah. But there's a rotation of 7 to 8 lads to start every game nearly, and the 4 or 5 lads. But it comes back to the story what you said. You're going to play 20 more games or 15 more games than Hanover Harps in the season, or Parkville or something like that in the season. Yeah. But you're going to get 20 proper games.
Yeah, and you're playing against the best around in the country. Yeah. And like if you're qualifying for senior cups, not like I used to love the senior cups. People said to me,
great competition.
Yeah, like you had to win your league, and I want to go in. I want to play. I went up played against Brian Kerr's Pats. Beat us 1-0 in extra time up in Inchicore on a Friday night. Yeah. Your man Paul Azam got the winning goal. We nearly put him out, right? And another funny story is that after the game, our lads were dead on their feet. I mean, we played Blackwater in the cup the Sunday before, and had a bit of a stinker and just got through in extra time, right?
Right.
We go up to Inchicore on the Tuesday night. They'd beaten Bowes the previous Friday. I went up to watch it and I was saying, God, what are we facing here tonight, right?
Yeah.
But I knew like we super talented players. Like 3 of the lads that played with us at that time were only back from England from trials, and we gave it everything. You know, big crowd there, was great. Beat us 1-0. Come off the pitch, and I remember saying to Brian Kerr, I said, Brian, you wouldn't mind going into the dressing room and just having a few words with the lads, because some of these will probably never play at this level again. Like, I will, am I shite? He said, if you'd have beaten us tonight, he said, my job is on the line. And he goes, and then I seen him total winner mentality as well. It wasn't a negative against him. I felt disappointed he didn't do it.
Right.
But I could see the winner mentality in him. But in fairness, he had a right hand man who everybody guesses or believes he was the real brains behind Brian, and that was Noel O'Reilly.
O'Reilly, yeah.
And Noel O'Reilly went into the dressing room and said, don't mind him. I went into the lads and was really, you know,
speak well, yeah.
He was brilliant.
Were you ever on an O'Reilly coaching course?
Yeah. Brilliant, wasn't he?
Gives you the piece of paper.
Yeah.
To go off your player hat and put on your coach's hat. You used to make a hat with a piece of paper and put on your head.
Well,
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was class.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and again, I was lucky to watch him at work.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people reckon he was the brains behind Brian's success as well. You know.
Yeah.
See why.
That's the real difference. The Leinster Senior Cup where you can spot. Like, you know, you play an Oscar Trainer final that you've been in, or an FEI Cup coming, or a Leinster Junior, but you're like quarter final of the Leinster Senior Cup, and you're like, but this is a proper difference there now. You know who the semi-pro is towards the lad who's working 5 days a week and just coaching. You know what I mean, having a bit of crack on the Tuesday night. Over the first half, not so, but certainly the second half, you're like, the stamina of these lads, the condition they're in. Like, I watched Bray against New York, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And Bray wouldn't have been one of the better, like, they were first division at the time.
But you could see the difference. But that gap was getting bigger. Like, we played at Lawn Town down in Mells Park, the old Mells Park, 2-0 up, 8 minutes to go, right? Oh, I was smelling the roses. We're hitting the headlines tomorrow, right? 1998, I was, never forget it. One of our players tried to nutmeg one of the players at Lawn lads on the end line. Instead of letting the ball run over the line, wasting another minute. Tried to nutmeg him, hit the ball too far ahead of him, giving a free away, boom, 2-1, 2-all, at extra time. Donald Golden got a hat trick that night, and I'll never forget it because he signed for Waterford just after that, and then he went to Rovers or somewhere in Dublin. So his career was on the back of our lads just being naive that night.
Making a mistake.
But there was 3,000 people in Mells Park that night. And you know, and all those things were happening in the 90s, and but where people wouldn't have known. So all those things and that experience sticks to you when you get into the next level. We played Bowes 4 years ago was my second last season. 2-0 up in the Senior Cup quarter final. 2-0 up, keeper Lee Walker, which in fairness wouldn't be like him. Lee made a bad mistake to bring him back into the game, and a 16-year-old come on and get the winner for Bowes that day, Evan Ferguson. Yeah, you don't even know who he is at that stage. So all them experiences are good 16. For players. 16, that's all he was. Yeah.
Remember he came on against Chelsea for them when he was 15, was he?
Yeah,
was he?
Yeah. He's youngest ever. Yeah, come on against Chelsea. He was good as well. Yeah,
but
so close though, John.
Yeah, but and that's why I'm saying playing in those competitions, people ridicule, it's another game, and it's not. I used to buzz. I used to love those games. You know what I mean? That's what you're there for, really.
But it's not really too often you want North End to win being an underdog, would it?
No,
that's the other side of it as well.
Not in the juniors as well, probably.
In the juniors, like you want to avoid the North Ends and the Yorks and this kind of crack. Where you're going to Leinster Senior, you're like, you're out of shoes on the other foot. Yeah. And it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it is.
Rather than being, we'll play bad and win this 2 or 3-0. They're like, we have to be at here today.
But it sounds like all success as well, but trust me, there was bad days in between.
Of course,
I mean, we went to New York one year and we were flying at 2-0 up, and New York came back and beat us 3-2. I remember it's not that long ago. It was the year after we won. I think it was the year after we won the FEI Junior. So you're brought back down there very, very quickly. I'm sure it was the Leinster Junior FEI, and you know, but that's why lads have to be at it all of the time, and especially when you become successful, like you're playing in Wexford, and it's everybody's cup final to beat North End. Yeah. Everybody's cup final.
Of course,
when we go outside the county, I mean, like we had some really battles back in Cooper Donnelly's time. Creddyyard were very strong. I think they'd went on to, you know, they were doing well outside Leinster and in Ireland as well. You know, and back at that time we had some humdingers down there, always played us on the bad pitch. No matter when you went up there, even in the middle of the summer.
It's worth the goal to them, John. And they're so fit and so strong and so dogged that it's you won't go down there. You'll never go down there and thump pretty hard.
No.
Very rarely.
Tough place to go. And even and it's they've always maintained that over the years. Like we went to, remember Hanover? I think you were 2-0 up against us as well.
2-0 up, in the Platts, I remember.
Young Adam Beery came on actually that day and turned the game around. But and back to like so, no matter where you go and who you play, you have to totally respect the opposition. And we've had lean periods as well during them years. But I think if you still think you're doing the right things and are patient, you'll get there, and you'll get there in the end. I think.
Yeah. Jesus.
But
you're a book on itself, isn't he?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I just can't get over 31 years, man. It's such a long time with one specific club. Did you ever consider going Leinster Senior League or Munster Senior League? Or
we spoke about it there tonight, actually. So James will be like he's on the North End committee at the moment, and he's managing a couple of teams. Himself, Luke, and all the guys that are in the club now, like they're contemplating: do we apply for third tier?
Okay.
And I was saying to James, I hope the heart hasn't bolted, because for a good many years I was pushing we go Leinster Senior League. I believe we probably could have went League of Ireland back in the early 90s, mid 90s, but you probably didn't really have the finances behind the club at that stage. You're only moving it to town, your own ground. I believe that was the time. If we'd have went then, you mightn't have had a Wexford Youths. You mightn't have had, you'd be there now, maybe established as a League of Ireland club. So I still think it can happen. Because now you're going to have at least another 20 clubs go for it. I'm hearing Villa from Waterford might be in. I'm hearing Gorey Rangers are thinking about it. You know what I mean? Arklow Town, clubs of that stature. So, if you go in there, one thing I will, and I've learned in League of Ireland, you need to have finances behind you. There's a lot of money. Like to run a League of Ireland club is massive in one because of the academies. In 5-6 years, they hope they're going to be self-sustaining with another Mason Media going out of every club every week.
Nice, wouldn't it?
But look, I think then I was really, really pushing to go Leinster Senior League. Wexford on a Wednesday night up to maybe Drogheda. Are the players going to be dedicated enough to do that, plus jobs and like that? They're the questions.
Super commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, but you would have had to finance it in some way.
Of course, yeah.
You would have had to finance it. I'm not saying, like, Northern have never paid players. They've never ever paid a player to go to the club. We've always tried to do things right off the field.
Yeah.
Like, make sure they're togged out well, getting the best gear.
Yeah.
If you're going to big games, you stay overnight.
Yeah.
You get that sponsorship like that. But I remember when we won the FAI in 2018, a guy honestly told me that we'd been the only club in that last 10 years hadn't won it without paying players or giving some sort of finances to them. Yeah, because a lot of clubs get a budget to win the FAI. Especially in certain leagues, like the Limerick League is well known for the Dublin League. Like, you know what I mean? No matter what they say, there is expenses and there is money going across hands. So, to go to that level, you do need finances behind you. You can't do it otherwise. But we were down another day, we played a team called Hardwick from Dublin.
Oh yeah, Hardwick, yeah.
Hardwick,
yeah.
I think Paul Byrne ex-Celtic, he could have been manager at the time, so we were sitting outside the clubhouse in Ardenne. It was the Leinster Junior Cup day. And all our players were sitting outside at the beginning and envelopes handed to them. So I didn't even see this because I was in the dressing room getting ready. So the chairman was handing out envelopes. So afterwards we go back for a few beers and put on a bit of food for the away team, which was always great. Something that's missing probably a bit now and again. Right? So we go back anyway, and Paul Byrne comes on and he says to me, "You guys are some cute," he says, "and would you paying the players?" So I know, seen them all getting envelopes before the game, right? So I said, "Here about that." So I opened up one of his envelopes. "You owe 120 euros, so if you're not paying by next week, you're suspended."
You're not getting it.
But it was so funny. So all the lads were, you either up to date or you owed money, what I mean? It was getting towards the registration payment time. Great stories,
He thought they were all getting a few pound.
Like we've been to Donegal. I mean, trips away. We've always had good people sponsoring you. Stay overnight. Try to do things as professionally as you can. But you're limited to what you can do. But I think back to the question, Leinster Senior League, I think North End would have been a big asset to it. I think I would be an advocate of a South East Leinster Senior League.
After taking the next question on me, Mount.
I think it's something that should happen. And how you'd make it happen and have maybe a relegation promotion type of thing. So, if you've, let's say, Carlow, Wicklow, Kildare, Wexford, Kilkenny, even go as far as Waterford maybe, but you're going into Munster, but just a South East Leinster Senior League, 12 teams or 14, 3 from each county, and the bottom one of each county gets relegated back, and the top one, the winners go up, every year, something like that. But then there has to be some incentive. Where do you go after that? You can play intermediate soccer now as well if you go Senior League. So I don't know. There's lots of people out there with good brains. It's
a top standard game every week, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But imagine like New York play Evergreen every week, and North End play Evergreen or New York or whoever are the 3 top teams in the county at the time, because that goes in cycles. Like
we had Davy Doyle on here from Kilkenny, freebooters. I'm sure you know Davy. There's a guy in Wexford, he told me, has that template done for a South East Super League.
Did he mention Sean Dempsey?
He didn't say a name.
I know Sean proposed that idea with Peter Doyle.
Okay.
Peter in the NFA.
Yeah.
Sean proposed that I would say 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that's where it might be coming from.
Yeah.
And it was a great idea. And for me, it's something that I think could work. Plus the travel and the expenses are down. Now look at the Tier 3 League of Ireland is probably going to maybe
affect that small bit.
But maybe not.
But if you look at the English FA setup, and say you were in Essex Division 4, there's a clear pathway to the Premier League.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean as in you win to, you come over your region, you go into the National, you go into the Vanarama, you go into the Conference, you go, and I think that can be done here. I think Ireland is small enough, say, if you do it provincially, to have the top tier in your province in the League of Ireland pyramid. Yeah. And everything else then works down between it. Do it in Munster, do it in Ulster, do it in Connacht, do it in Leinster. I think that's a real possibility. I really do. Because I think the gap and almost the appreciation of junior soccer is nearly looked over at times.
Yeah.
When the reality is it's the actual heartbeat of the game in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the bread and butter.
Yeah.
There was a Shield final Saturday night gone, John, here in Carlow. Newark against Feix a Division 1 side. Really good side. Newark beat them after extra time. There was 400 or 500 at the game.
Yeah. I actually seen Feix play North End a couple of weeks ago, and they're a very good young side.
Great side.
I think I actually see the Dean Kelly's young brother play.
Yeah, Jaden.
Very good young lad. He was very good on the day. I think it was only 15 or 16, but North End CBS played Wexford Bows Saturday night not so long ago. I said it was 400 or 500 at the game as well. Saturday evening, midweek games. If you have the facilities, and you probably get more than the League of Ireland game.
Yeah.
At the moment, League of Ireland, I know the attendances are going up at League of Ireland level, but where you have grounds in the centre of a town or in the centre of a mainland area, and there's something local involved in it as well, you'll get people to support it. And that's why I'm saying to Wexford, you have to have Wexford players there to get the Wexford community to go and support it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all Wexford players.
You can't. You're not going to support a group of strangers, are you?
No,
you have to have you have to have a group, the core, from the area,
exactly,
and then a couple of additions, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the Bilbao model, the Echo Bilbao model. Is it only Basque players? Is that them? Is it?
Yeah.
They've only ever signed Basque players ever.
And Sociedad used to be something similar, didn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, until Tasha came in, and remember he brought in a few lads.
That was in the early 90s. Tasha went in,
similar. But no, it's something that I think. And if you generate, and then probably put a few bob on the gate in charge, because it generates a few pounds for the clubs as well.
Get a shop going.
Yeah. He brought Aldridge there, did he?
Who?
Toshak.
Yeah,
didn't he bring Aldridge over there? He did, yeah.
So Toshak played for Madrid.
Yeah, he did, you're right. But you look at, what's the last team in England to probably go through all the divisions? Is it Wimbledon? Do you remember they got...
Yeah.
They came down. There was a team called Rushden and Diamonds.
Yeah.
They would have come up through the divisions as well.
You should look at Wrexham. I reckon Wrexham are going to be the Premier League in the next 6-7 years, definitely.
Yeah. So as you said, there's a pathway there for him.
100%. There's a clear pathway.
Leeds come back, John. Just run.
He's a Leeds fan.
Massive Leeds fan. Loves them. Yeah.
Walking out of Wembley last year, said if they don't, I'm giving up on him. Boy, I never give up.
Yeah. He sees Nick at holder, John.
No, I have a goal membership, but because I'm going quite regularly now, it's easy enough to get the tickets. Like,
they follow you on the social media. I'm like, Jesus, does he live in Ireland or Leeds?
So one club city, right?
Yeah. It's very cheap. To be fair, like I was just telling the lads there, like some of the lads have been over to Leeds, even though they're not Leeds fans, and it's a great city as well. It's a good crack. But I went over to a game recently, just Sunday game, back Monday, €152 for your
Snip.
ticket, your flight and hotel overnight. Like,
That's great.
Absolute
Yeah.
snip.
you spend that, if you're out on a good night in
But they're
town.
too big to be in the first division or the championship, aren't they?
Sure, they're a massive
They're a
club.
massive club.
Same as Newcastle.
Yeah.
I know Newcastle aren't,
No, but when they were there, yeah.
one city,
Yeah.
one club, colossal.
Yeah.
Tell me this now, without upsetting or insulting anyone. Give me a few big names or a few players that you really fancy down in.
I suppose, look, it's. Are you talking about now or what?
No, that's in your time.
To be honest, I said this to someone recently. They were always trying to get me to pick the best 11 or squad.
Yeah.
And I would struggle to pick the best squad for the 4 areas. If I'd done that, at least I'd be picking 45, 50 players, right?
Of course, yeah.
But even in that, I'm telling you, we've been blessed with players gone through the books. Naturally, if you look at the ones that have played in England, say, and have played at the highest level, you naturally think that they've been the best. Now, they've had the best careers. Sometimes they might not have been the most talented players that have gone through your hands, but they have to get the credit for what they've done. Like, so look at Gary Dempsey, would have played in England, had a full-time career over there. Young Robin Dempsey, he went over. Robin would have made it. If Brexit was in now when he was 18 going, he wouldn't be back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with Paul Spot Murphy.
Yeah.
I mean, super talents. Like Paul, like captain Ireland and played for Ireland all the way up 18, 19, but just came home at 17, just genuinely just homesick.
Yeah.
And if they went now at 18, I think, I don't think they would be back. You're talking about players.
It's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah. Like people put down who's the best player I've seen, but then like we've had like players like Mick Mulligan played with Norwich City, was on their books, came back. Darren Brown, Dermy Byrne, they practically were on Millwall's books, at 17, 18. Pat Sinnott, Paul Murphy. Paul was at Man City. He didn't play with Northern all his career, but was probably the mainstays. The year we won the FAI Junior Cup, come off the bench every game and scored. Paul was at Man City. He was actually roaming with Stephen Elliott when they were only 14 over there. Went to Shrewsbury, went to St. Pat's, then back to Wexford. Like Shane Dempsey got capped by Ireland, 17 and 18s, and didn't go to England. He got capped at that level. I genuinely had, with so many players, I tell you this now, we'd players that I reckon in today's League of Ireland, I reckon I'd probably have 50 to 60 that could play a League of Ireland at any level. Went through the Northern books over that time. That's how talented a lot of them were. And I know I was going to forget somebody, you know what I mean? I'll go there. John Foley, captain the team for 10 years, captain Irish universities. There were just, the opportunities weren't there, and there was thin lines between being successful and not.
That's a conveyor belt player, isn't it?
Conveyor belt,
isn't it?
Yeah. Like Pat Sinnott went to Waterford United. I don't know if you know Paddy, he's a referee now.
Yeah.
He had 2 or 3 really good years down there as well. Colin, I genuinely couldn't name a lot of them, but when people ask me who's the best player, I would say Spot. If you ask me, put me pin to the collar, he's the best player. Could turn a game and change a game just like that. And, like there was no coincidence that we won the FAI Junior Cup when he came back. There was no coincidence that we won Oscar Trainer and he was only 17 in the team that year. And he was at 17 when he came back, lads. He was like, he just come out of a U Cup final with Ipswich against West Ham. 6 months later, he played with Wexford in a Oscar Trainer trophy.
That day in the flats, he played us.
Yeah.
He played that day, and I was like, that was my first time sort of seeing Spot. Like, this lad hasn't got a kick for 60 minutes. And then it was just like a switch flipped.
Yeah.
And just, you couldn't get near him.
Yeah.
And then he's strong enough to say, wait, you're not going to, you just throw your side like a child.
Yeah.
Just low centre of gravity, super touch, pass, shoot, everything.
Yeah.
I
reckon him and Robin had to stay in England. They would have went to the next level. Like
Robin definitely. I would have seen Robin through academies. Absolutely the finest young I'd ever seen play in Kennedy Cup of anyone. I know you said that you feel that North End as a club weren't lucky, you worked really hard. Do you think that you were lucky?
Yeah, everybody needs luck.
To get, you've mentioned them conveyor belt the players, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You could have 40 coaches in here and they wouldn't have touched players half their quality, right?
Yeah.
There must be an element there where you're like, lads, I won the lottery. I've won the junior soccer lottery here.
Yeah. I think there's 3 ways to answer that. One is that the first thing that you had to do was put respect in what you were doing and where you were. So the North End team previous to when we started kicking off success, won one league. Nicky Jones, Billy Dodd, Shawnee O'Shea. I'm talking about these guys now were on a real high level. And they didn't win anything like they could have. And I put it down to just the fact that they probably weren't disciplined enough to do it. Or junior soccer at the time, and with North End was like a Saturday night, you're going out to play Sunday, it's a crack, whatever. But these players gave still 10 years of your life. So I can't understand anyone giving 10 years and doing something without giving it your best shot at least. Now, if you're not successful, you're not, right?
Yeah.
So I think one element is that you need to put ambition and hunger and desire back into what you do.
Yeah.
Then if you get a bit of success and you work hard, like I've had teams that probably weren't as good as some of the teams in Wexford but won leagues. Like we beat Wexford Bows to a league one year, and we beat Rossley Rangers to a league one year, and I would say our squad man for man weren't as good as the other two teams quality wise, but they just had that bit about them, and we sort of knew how to win.
Yeah.
And then what happens is people want to get in part of it, and then you get the players. So it's not that North End have always had a good conveyor belt, but most of the players that come in and were successful in North End afterwards would have come through other clubs.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, so Wexford Albion's youngsters were always going to Wexford Bows or Park Hospital. You remember Park Hospital? They all started to come to North End at 16, 17 because, hang on, there's a pathway here to challenge, right? And they were coming from really well coached club as well. Wexford Albion is very strong. And then we started to get players coming in as well. So yes, I do believe you always need luck, but it's not by chance a lot of these players come into you. Like some of the players that are in North End now at the moment, I probably would have been instrumental in bringing them in. And the reason why there is because I was always trying to tell them that we'll give you the best shot to be the best player you can at whatever level. Now I get grief over it in Wexford sometimes over, but sure, you have a Ross Celtic player in the team there now and you've just won an All-Ireland.
Yeah.
I said St. Michael's won All-Ireland and there's only one Tipperary town man on the team.
Pike
have won a team. You know what I mean? Like Pike have won a
2 or 3 Limerick lads on it.
You know what I mean? Like Stephen McGann from Clare was captain of Pike for years.
But that parochialness in junior soccer is a myth anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's not you're not playing for the club based on your address.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can go to wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to kind of sell it, and as you said, put the structure in place to make it attractive. I always say if a player is leaving a club, the only place that club can point the finger at themselves. I've always said that.
Especially if you have them there and you lose.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It can be hard, but like as Papa said as well, there was times when other clubs were doing really well. Like I would have lost 2 or 3 players in an era when we were actually doing well, and I would have left the lads out because they just were missing training. Talented kids, right? But just you could see, are they going to be there in 2 years' time? So come to your house, come to your door, and I said, lads, best of luck to you, and that's the last trophy you'll win. And lads will laugh at me, you'll see. And went to a local rival. That year we won the league to finish second, and we won the league the following year to finish second. And I said, there you are. I said, and I mean genuinely, we had players. Now these 2 kids could have played at any level, but they didn't want to train. They were slacking, and they were guaranteed their place every week with another team. And I said that doesn't work.
But it goes back to what you said. You took over the first team. Your morals are like first thing you said. We got to train.
Yeah,
and you kept that throughout your 31 years as manager.
Yeah, no, I never trained that. Never changed.
You. For me, as an outsider looking in, Wexford football is John Godkin. And that's not building you up, but you are the most respected man in Wexford football. And it's no reason or no fluke that them conveyor belt of players have gone through North End because of a man like you in charge.
Yeah, it definitely
there's no doubt in my mind over that.
It does help, Papa, because I deep down as well, I'd be just a real winner. Like I genuinely know, right? I know there's morals in winning and losing, but if you're going to do something, I'm just committed. Like I would sleep when I was managing. I'd sleep, drink, eat football non-stop. Everything I done was always, what are you thinking about? How are you get next? And my missus said to me, like, she even said she was funny because behind all of it, I wouldn't have done it for 31 years without her and the kids, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when I was leaving North End, the lads were at the table and they said to Susan, they said, look, he's leaving, he's definitely going now. I said, I'll wait, I see you. And then said, no, he's definitely going. He said, well, you better find another hobby. I was out of her hair as well, a little bit. But like, it's just that when you're like that and you do things right, you do tend to persuade people to want to
You
get
just-
on board and be part of it.
It's a knack that you have, John.
Yeah, it's probably being part of it. But
Did you, when you knew you were leaving, did you have...
A surprise party.
No. Bring your own cake to your space party.
it was a great party. They were all delighted.
Did you pick the man who you wanted there instead of you?
No, not really. Like, I would have been asked for advice and stuff like that, and not really. No, like in the 2 years, it's funny. The 2 years since they've left, the two lads that are there are actually already were in with Arden at some stage.
Yeah.
So Denny would have been a coach with me when he went, and his assistant was John Foley, who was captain for 10 years. So I'd say there was continuity, but they wanted the job. And to be fair as well, they would have often asked me for a bit of advice, and they won the 2 leagues after.
Yeah.
So I would have seen that as well, 1-1, and hopefully this year as well, because they're well on top. I would have seen that as actually a really, really good team. People said to me, "Oh, what happens if the lads went brilliant?" It shows that you, like, I'm a firm believer if you walk away something and you leave it in the right hands, or you leave it right, it'll continue being successful.
Of course, yeah.
It's a rare thing to have success after transition.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's rare. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what's jumped into my mind there? And I want to say this. I want to make this statement, right? The best don't separate themselves from the sport. So the best, looking at John across the table, the best junior soccer players have to eat it, live it, breathe it, sleep it. You can't separate if you want success. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. No, I think and it's in your psyche, it's in your build up, it's in your makeup, or in your genes, as people say. I had 2 or 3 really top class coaches that I looked to bring into North End. Maybe this will probably tell you a little story, right? I've asked them and had asked them, I said, look, get involved, right? But North End had this reputation of being very, very colonial, very clannish, and like they're a difficult bunch. Like Spot and Jay could be difficult to handle sometimes. All players, my motto,
Best ones are, ain't it, John?
100%. I said if they lose that, you lose the player. Right?
That's a cog in the wheel, isn't it?
If you lose that, you lose the player. And I said to anyone coming in, I said, you come across that white line and you're only hearing or you're seeing things, and sometimes on the pitch they might go that extra little bit with the edge in them, right? But I said, you come across and work with them, and I guarantee you won't work with a better bunch of guys who all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And some of these coaches were afraid to do it. And I've always said to them that they'll never make it as managers. And to this day, they haven't gone on. And I mean, these guys would be big names in the game. They're working with underage international teams, some of them. They've never gone on to manage adults.
Good
and
coach
I reckon
is
that's
not
why.
a manager.
Yeah.
Back to what you said, John.
And like, so the lads will be hard, but anyone that comes into the club, the minute they come into the club, are made feel so welcome. Do you know what I mean? So people are saying, "Oh, will I go into these? Will I go in? You know, will I go across that line?" And I said, "Once you do, you'll never come back out, because they'll just see a group of lads that want to be successful." So that's instilled from everybody. It comes from the management. It comes from the coaches.
Absolutely,
it comes from the club. And it's as you said, like now I've gone to Wexford. I'm probably the key thing there now is, like, I just seen the academy in Wexford, and I seen 58 young Wexford kids playing in Waterford, Carlow, Bray.
Where do you get that data, John? Where do you get that information?
I would know every kid nearly in the game in the county. Even at a younger age, before they ever get to 18, you're always scouting or going around looking at games and stuff like that. But all these kids had left Wexford, like 6 or 7 were North End kids. I used to get a bit of grief when I go out to Ferrycarrig Park to watch a game. I actually felt like an outsider. Anyone in junior soccer felt like an outsider at times going out to Ferrycarrig. So parent to come to me, I had a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, because when I was managing all these teams, I also done schoolboys.
Okay.
So I always managed schoolboys teams as well, because that's a good test for anyone.
Of course it is, yeah.
So we had kids, and like parent to come to me, look, Waterford are looking from Wexford, looking from. I'd look at who was out in Wexford doing the coaching. I'd look at who was at Waterford. I'd look at the setup, and I'd say, if I'm honest, he has to go to Waterford. Now that used to break my heart.
Yeah.
And I said it only because when I looked at the setup, like, kids were going out to Wexford and come back. Some of them were coming back damaged. Like, I remember a kid come back. So I remember going to a kid who'd been brought on in the game and brought off in the same game at League of Ireland level. And now this young lad was very, very good. Never mentioned any names or anything like that, right? This kid was going to give up the game. I went down to his parents and I begged him to let him come back playing. And he thought it was going to be He thought it was going to be sort of a step down, going back playing with North End after being at League of Ireland level.
Probably felt a letdown maybe from his own side.
He went on, had 3 or 4 brilliant years and became successful Oscar trainer team player.
Yeah.
Now he's actually managing. He's actually managing one of the Ireland teams now. So when I think of that kid might never went back in, that to me is wrong. So I said, we've got to get that right. So we have the academy the last 2 years. People might not know this, but Wexford's academy last year, 20s, 17s and 15s all qualified for the elite phase.
Brilliant.
There was only 2 other clubs in Ireland done that last year. One was Rovers, didn't even do it. It was Bowes and Cork City. So we started to turn around, and we've got, out of that 51, I'd say we've probably 38, 39 back. Some we've just lost and you won't get them back. Young Oshie McDonough came back. Perfect example. He's now gone to Venezia in Italy. Serious star in the making. Captain Irish under-17s hopefully next week. I genuinely believe that we were able to get him back to Wexford. We have young Caleb Harnett come through North End through Wexford FC. He's there now in the first team. Tonight there's 5 academy players up with the first team tonight. So we're trying to turn that around too. But it's hard work, and you have to be honest to your word as well. Like if you go in and make false promises to academies or parents and don't back it up, well then you're in serious trouble.
How often do you think that happens, John?
I think a lot. I think a lot of people use and a lot of coaches and managers, I think, use where they are now to get what's best for them, but at the detriment that the kid gets damaged in 2 or 3 years' time and never gets the promises that you can name a lot of coaches that have done that, but they're only in it for their own egos. Yeah. At the end of the day, the kid is sort of rejected, or he doesn't get where he's supposed to get because of that. Gotcha. And then they either go out of the game, fall out of love of the game, become a statistic. And I think that like, you see it even at junior level. Like, sometimes I was asking myself, like, was I stopping a lad going to play League of Ireland because I wanted him to win the Junior Cup for North End? And never, because I always encouraged them, because I always believed that if they go and they didn't like it, they come back a better player, or should. Yeah,
100%.
So you're always going to get the benefit.
You can't stop progress.
Yeah.
To tell me your current role in Wexford, how important is the relationship with the Wexford League? Where are you? Are you in a good place?
Yeah, very good. Always doubt still, and maybe a lack of trust over what's happened over the years. But right now, at the moment, I think we have a new ground being developed in Setu.
Is that starting, or
no? It'll be. You won't see that until 2028, but you'll see the 2 new training pitches in the centre of town 2027. Hopefully,
brilliant.
There's a new group called the Wexford Alliance, which is Wexford Football League. Some management people from Wexford FC, schoolgirls and schoolboys league, and they're now all going in and working on developing 3 or 4 different venues, where you'll see another 3 or 4 new full-size all-weathers going in.
Fantastic.
But they're called Wexford Alliance, and they'll be for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They won't be the Wexford Leagues, they won't be Wexford FCs. Plus, because they went together as a group, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but they've got a serious grant.
Yeah, I did see it, yeah.
But they've done it because they've
that was the Alliance.
Football. The Alliance got that. An individual or any of them 4 individuals wouldn't have got
Would
that.
never got it.
Yeah.
Talk to me your day to day now in the current role of Wexford FC.
I suppose mainly it's structuring the academy, bringing in coaches, making sure that you're putting in the right structures that are in there. I'm working with all the local clubs, because I would have known a lot of them and whatever else. So that's why I have relationships there. That needs to grow and grow. It's only really kicking in. We're looking to grow partnerships with as many clubs in the Wexford League as soon as possible. So within that, we have a new partnership presentation and agreement that hopefully we have a new investor coming in the next few weeks. Hopefully it'll touch wood. They'll come in and he's going to be part of meeting all the clubs. So it'll be an outside voice. It'll be an outside investor. So it won't be just me talking to the clubs. It'll be someone coming in with a backbone.
Yeah.
And then also I work with Stephen, so the first team manager. So we work with them, getting in players, helping out with his budgets, looking after the football operations side. And then I get a buzz out going with the first team. So I actually missed the dressing room big time.
Of course you would, yeah.
I missed the dugout, but the next best thing is to be in there and still part of a new setup. So I still enjoy it. Like, you had to retire sometime.
You know
what I mean? Everybody does, but I do miss it.
Do you think you'll always be in the game, though?
Well, I'd like to think I'll have some part of playing it, because it keeps me occupied as well. Your hobby. Like, I suppose I was in work recently and someone said to me about work and this and that. I said, well, look, I'm professional in work, but I'm passionate about sport. Yeah. And that's the best way I could sum up. And I think I've been successful in work because of sport, and then probably vice versa. Like, I bring my passion, or I'd say I bring things I believe in into the workplace as well. And the same, like a lot of the same things that you do in sport and work.
Yep,
they're very similar. People are there.
Well, they are. They mirror each other.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
So I think that's it's by no chance a lot of successful people in sport do well outside of sport.
Of course,
as well. Yeah, it helps.
I want to ask you about player recruitment. Let's take away the underage structure at Wexford FC. Talk to me about recruitment to get lads into the first team. Where are you looking? Where are you going? What level are you looking at?
Okay, so the League of Ireland is probably, it's not the biggest pool of players, or hasn't been for the last number of years, right? But the academies are changing that now. What's happened now is that the academies and young kids coming through the academies, if they're not breaking in, like one of our policies as an example with the 20-year-olds, is if I've 5 20-year-olds playing 20s football still, but haven't really started to break into the first team, I'm not so sure they're going to if you haven't done it at that stage.
Gotcha.
So do we bring as many 17s through and keep them playing at that level, even though they're probably, age-wise, they have another 2 or 3 years left, but we won't develop them unless we play them at that level. So the policy is play up as much as possible with the quality players, the kids that have the opportunities. And if you get to a certain level, and you got to be cruel to be kind a little bit and say, look, maybe you're better going back to play your junior football with the junior clubs that want to be successful. So let's say it's Carlow, let's say New Oak, it's Hanover, it's Creddy, right? I'm just naming the clubs that I know have been successful. If it's Wexford, is it your North End, is it your Gories? If we've Wicklow lads, is it Arklow Town? So you're building partnerships with those clubs where these kids will go back, the clubs will benefit, but maybe 6 months playing at that level kickstarts them to go back in League of Ireland again, or they were never probably ready for it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's how you recruit and the way you do it, I think, is important. And then you're also looking to bring in players. Every manager looks to bring in players that, that fit into his psyche and his,
system style, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Now, to play League of Ireland now at the moment, though, you've got to have time. So it's 4 days a week plus a game, at least.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's practically 4 days a week in a game.
Where are you with budget? You don't have to give me any figures. But
no. Look, our budget in Division 1 the last couple of years was probably in the top 3 or 4.
Okay.
Semi-finals of the playoffs, cup semi-final last year.
Yeah.
The budget this year it's not quite as much, and this was a conscious decision in with the first team, because we want to put more into the academy.
Yeah.
So we want to develop the academy, let it become self-sustainable, so that we believe in the next few years that the benefits of that is getting new players that you've invested in now, and your budget won't be as critical then, because these kids will come through the club anyway.
Yeah.
So we've gone this year for more, what I would say Stephen is going to go for, probably a nucleus of experienced players that have been there, done it, and then also bring them through with academy players that can go to the next level. Like, so we've 4 academy players in there at the moment that have all played international football at the moment at underage level. So you don't play international football unless you have something about you. Now
honestly,
can you bring him to the next stage?
Yeah.
And there's probably 9 of the squad Wexford based.
Do you feel like,
in and around the area, southeast?
Do you feel that you're worthy of sustaining Premier status?
I believe we're putting the foundations in to be there, and the foundations will be that, we have a TY course on this year. We're bringing kids in.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's the first time. We are looking at WWETB. So when Setu come in, now can we go 3rd level education? And it's very, very key to the investors that they want to see this as well.
Yeah.
So now you're bringing players in, getting government grants. These players are training full-time, getting their college, and you're now putting in the foundation to become a full-time club. We won't, and there's no point in going up there until you have the proper infrastructure and until you can go full-time. If you haven't got that, we're at nothing.
Is that a goal?
Yeah. And, Tony Doyle is our new chairman. Tony's a very successful businessman in the insurance business. But he now knows it's time that he needs other investment as well. You can only do so much, at a local level. And we have a new commercial manager coming on board. So all the foundations that are going in at the moment and are put in place are hopefully to build, success in the future.
There's so much off the field as well as on the field, isn't
That's
there?
crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
It's crazy.
the League of Ireland club.
Yeah.
Like,
Just how much would you think How much would you think on average it is to run an academy team now? An academy...
In my time with FC Carlow 20s, I think it was about 22 grand before you even rented a bus or bought a football.
Yeah. Well, I'd say our academy last year, and I can give this figure because we give it openly on a presentation to parents or whatever. Our academy last year would have cost in the region of 379 for the 4 academy teams. That's boys only. That's even separate to the girls.
Yeah.
That's some money, isn't it?
But, think about it, you're playing in Kerry twice a year.
Break it down for me, John. Is it percentage coming from the players? Is it sponsorship? Is it marketing?
Yeah, like we would have had last year. You're probably looking at if I look at sponsorship and registration fees, right? Just let's put them as your main incomings, right?
Yeah.
You're probably looking in the region of about 170, 180.
So just over half.
Yeah. And then the rest then comes from the club and fundraising that you do in other areas of the club that you have to invest in.
It's crucial, isn't it?
Yeah. But that will this year we're hoping that we'll have more investment and it'll lessen the load on the club.
Of course,
it's looking like that way because but that's the type of money. Now that's why if you go third tier League of Ireland and then you eventually want to go to the next level, you need to think it through because it's your academies and
yes,
is it 2026 they bring in an extra team?
Yeah.
So you go 14s, 15s, 16s, 18s, and then 20s.
Yeah, you have to play at a professional full time.
Yeah,
to be even though you're not professional right now.
Yeah,
to get to the target
and
goal.
Like it anyway, don't you?
100%.
Yeah, you have to act like it. Yeah.
You've got to play at a professional, and I think that's where a lot of League of Ireland clubs kind of crumble a little bit.
Yeah.
Having conversations with League of Ireland players, the one standard thing that they always say is that the on the field stuff and the off the field stuff are completely different, but they have to mix.
Yeah.
So you can't have a businessmen on your board coming from a monetary space and neglect the football.
100%.
But you can't have a football. You're a director, just concentrating on football.
Yeah.
Like it all has to.
No, you're 100%. And
Yeah.
You find a happy medium, don't you?
and that's what's missing in League of Ireland for many years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like people were pumping in their own money or living from week to week. That can't continue. So that's why, as we bring kids through and maybe we like our kids, people want to know about Irish soccer and it's like an Irish kid at 16, if he doesn't go to Europe now, right, he's basically got by 18, he's probably missed the boat because there's not too many full-time setups in Ireland. So we need to be able to provide 16 to 18-year-olds full-time football. We need and that's level, and then when that's what we need to do.
Big jump. I agree 100%.
Yeah,
and I think that should be nationally driven.
Yeah,
I keep using the word Iceland. Look at the Iceland model, lads. Look at it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I think it will. But if you look at Mason Melia signed a pro contract at 16, we've 2 on pro contracts already at 16 in Wexford because you have to have them to protect yourself, but also to make sure that you're giving them the best opportunities. So you got to make sure that you're giving them, you're training up the whole time. I would say you have to remember as well is that it's going to take a little bit of time. It's a big change here, but Irish kids and a lot of them will go back to England again and go back to other countries of a higher quality, I think, in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
I do believe that. And then we hopefully see it going into international level and all the other levels. But you have to work at it.
Just the last question I'm going to ask you. Were you a League of Ireland fan before you got involved at Wexford?
Always. I'd say I've been to every ground in Ireland at League of Ireland level. It's not something I would have ever went around telling people, but I remember Arda Keegan, I remember grounds like that, I remember all the Old Mel's Park.
Finn Park?
Yeah, Finn Park.
Relic, remember that?
Once a year was enough maybe to go there, it's just a distance. Monaghan, as I said to you. Braid, Carlisle Grounds was always
Beautiful
a great place.
Gorgeous,
Best pitch in the country for years was,
No, Waterford, sure, look, Waterford's on their doorstep. I remember when all the North End lads went through Waterford United. Yeah. We go down there to watch them, you know what I mean? So, we've had quite a few there, like Sir Gary Delaney, Spot, and young Robin all had their stint there as
Waterford,
well. So we would have been down to, to watch those lads when they were there. I used to love Dalymount.
No, Daley's
first ever international game I was up in Dalymount. Liam Brady made his debut. So there's always something about that ground.
Well, that's where talking to people I know said in their 60s and 70s when they went to watch Ireland, they went to Dalymount. That was where you went, like.
Yeah. Seen him in Dalymount, yeah.
Do you think that they're developing that all right, or have they grant to go ahead, or
that's actually out? It's out now. The moment I think they're doing the pitch, but the whole ground is going to. I think it's going to be eventually developed.
Yeah, I love Pat Stadium. I love going there as a coach because you come off the street. down the lane.
Yeah. Good
Easy
atmosphere.
chorus,
Walk.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. Papa, do you have for John?
No, Jesus.
So I understand we're holding you up. The man is on to a match to scout players.
And I
look
say
at
James is going to kill me.
Yeah. Massive respect, John. Thanks for coming on. You're well respected with everybody in the Carlow League. Make no mistake of that. Even though Carlow against Wexford is just it's just a game of soccer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No, fantastic to get the inside of.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's nice.
Roles.
It's nice to be here, lads, because like you two guys are so involved in football as well, and I wish you every success with the podcast, because I know the one in Wexford is really taking off.
Brilliant,
as well.
yeah.
And I suppose it's great to be part of it, and to come up here, and as I said, I have a lot of relations in Greg Cullen, so my aunt and uncle told me to let me know when it's going out. So they'll be listening.
Don't worry, we'll let you know.
It'll be out. Come here, we've John Lester on the next episode.
Yeah, great player.
Any little questions or rumours we can?
I tell you one thing. The one thing when he came into Wexford, he was with us for about 2 seasons, right? John at 38, right, winning his medal Leinster Junior Cup with us, right, was exactly the same as winning his first one. Just a kid that loved playing, right? Absolutely super talent.
Yeah.
He
forgot what he won and everything. Sure.
Yeah, no, I do. And do you know something?
Not of arrogance.
Yeah, no, but even got out there on the pitch and like he was such a calming influence. But look at his record, like. But I would have known John through our escapades with Sheriff. We had a good few games against Sheriff, and like that Sheriff team were a serious team. But when he came in as a player into the club, I actually respect him more than I ever did as an opposition player. He was so good with the kids. Yeah. I mean, with the young lads. And I asked him about coaching. He said, I'll never coach. But the only thing is, he's coaching now because his 2 kids are playing.
He's in Wicklow, right?
Yeah, I think he's coaching with Ratnew. I think he's living in Ratnew.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say to him when he's up there asking him about the night we played All County, how did he get on?
Go on. We'll ask that. Write it down. Brilliant. Papa, we're going to continue.
Yeah, we'll go, yeah.
John, absolute pleasure and honour, and I wish you all the success.
Thanks, lads.
Thanks very much. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Papa, what do you think of John, just as he left us there?
Magic, sure. Great respect for him. He sniped the fucking Oscar Trainers trophy, didn't he? no, look at his... Jesus, the story.
31 years, man.
31 years at one club is some comparable to players, as we said before, but he looked at lads coming from 2 and 3 or 4 years of age, watching their daddies or brothers playing, to coaching them.
Yeah, great point.
Now watching them going around.
Why didn't you ask that when he was here, man?
Sure, look at.
We're
getting back on.
Results.
Yeah.
Carlow Cup, these are played on Sunday. Burn Celtic B1, Phoenix B0. Castle Rangers 1, Hanover B2. Big win there for Paz.
Yeah, Phoenix now.
Phoenix A?
Phoenix A, yeah.
Yeah. Was that draw made or was it just a natural draw? It's already done, is it?
I think they knew that the winners, it must have been done because they knew whoever won the game was playing Phoenix in the next round, yeah.
Parkville B2, Dolman Celtic B1. I was actually in Parkville. I seen that game going on. Yeah, Ballymurphy B1, Ballinglass Town 1. Ballinglass win 5-4 after penalties. Newark B2, Wolfhill 6. In the Premier Division, Hanover 0, Vale 2. Papa, talk to me.
Yeah, just bad performance. Worst I've seen in a long time. Didn't lay love on them. Vale were deserved winners. Won every battle all over the field. I'd say I was lucky. I don't know, I'm not going to call out names, but there was 3 players only for them. It would have been a lot worse.
Go ahead.
Just weren't at the races at all, and we just had a little chat after the game and see what was wrong, and we had to clear the air, sort of, between players and management. It has to happen every so often. Yeah. Didn't look Parkville beaten 2 weeks ago and Vale beat them last week.
Park that now for a second. How does that come about? Who pulled the trigger on that?
I pulled the trigger on it.
So you say we need to have. We're going a different direction here.
Left all the gear at the top of the pitch, into the dressing room. Players speak. Put your feelings aside and tell me what you think is going on. And
why is there angst or is there?
There was just
bit of niggle.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether it's a bit of niggle patch. It was just things happening on the field. I was like, why is that happening? How do you go from performing the way he's performing to just being out battled like an under 14 team against a men's team?
Sure, couldn't be personnel because you haven't changed players, right?
No, we've changed a couple of players, but
yeah, but I mean, it's not as if your 1 to 11 has changed.
No, well, probably 8 or 9 of the same 11 is starting most weeks. There is a couple of players missing who are important. Brandon Cassidy's out injured at the moment.
Big loss, yeah.
He just covers the ground. Stevie Charlton.
Yeah, big loss, yeah.
And then Kevin has been fantastic this year playing centre half, and look, lads coming in their positions have just done well, but just the last 2 games, it was just a myth. I was like, I have to clear the air here now and just pull them into the dressing room. We're in it for 40 minutes, I'd say, speaking.
Is there a Is it a case where you know you can't get relegated and you can't win it?
Yeah, and I
Does that affect training and that?
No, the numbers in training. Well, yeah, numbers in training on Friday night haven't been as good as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it's just too easy sometimes to put a no in the group without an explanation, so we've changed that.
Yeah, or thumbs down.
We've got it wrong as coaches as well on the sideline. I should have changed it at half time, or we should have changed it at half time. We should have made 2 changes at half time, and we didn't. And it was 0-0 at half time, believe it or not. And we made a mistake for the first goal. And then the second goal, we got caught in the ball and switched to the far side. And Young had a great finish, but we didn't deserve anything out of the game. We got bet against Parkville, and I thought the second half, I asked for a reaction, and I got it. And deserved something out of a draw, but maybe not to win the game, but certainly a draw. But we didn't deserve a thing out of the game on Sunday. So, look, I'm also confident Podge they don't become a bad team in 2 games.
Oh, not Chris Dempton.
Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I know that for a fact. And we have a chance to clear it up now on the weekend. We're playing Collection away. So, look, will you go back and go from there? We'll just go back to get the hunger back. And it's just, look, it could have been just off though. I don't know what it is, but we fixed it anyway, basically. Or hopefully fixed it.
Cretty 3, Parkville 0 in Parkville. I was out at it.
3 goals in 6 or 7 minutes, I believe, was it?
Cretty Yard had a 15-minute spell that would have bet any team in the league.
Right.
And scored 3 goals in that spell. Parkville probably the better side in the second half. Parkville brought a lot of fight. Similar to your game.
Yeah.
But a little bit headless at times. Looking at their midfield 3, like, extremely separated. Like, I like a midfield 3 that if I throw a blanket, it's touching 3 of them.
Yeah.
Especially in defending.
Yeah.
And I just looked at Parkville, they looked a bit... No, not that they were ripped open. It's just like players were on a mission to go, you know, well, I'm going to set a level here and make sure this lad sets a level and next lad. And it just didn't have that effect, you know. But if I drew Parkville in the cup, I'd be worried.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
It just shows you what they can do. And
they're a good side.
Yeah.
And I tell you one thing, they're a little bit on shape, a little bit tweaking. No, I'm only looking at it from coach's eyes. A little bit on shape. And I think that if they can balance their transition from losing it to getting it back, to be very hard bet. But Cretty Yard had a 15-minute spell where they would have bet any team in the league.
I heard that, yeah. They got the goals in
about
8 or 9 minutes, I think, was it?
And three very good goals.
Right.
Push
them right there, isn't it? Again.
Well, they're back in it now, sure. Yeah, they're back in the race. And we have to go to, and we have to go there and Walk have to go there.
Yeah.
Do you know?
They'll at least have a say in it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we'll get to the fixtures later on, but Kilree 2, Collection 4.
Big result for, well, not a big result for Collection, but Kilree would have.
Would Vale winning? Where does that leave?
It's a 2-horse race, it looks like now, in my opinion.
Kilree Burn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Parkville were 11 last week. To beat us on the 14, that's safe.
Yeah.
Burn is on 6.
Yeah.
Hard to make up that gap. I think Kilree is on 8. Still hard to make up that gap.
It's one game though.
Vale, I think it's 13, 6, 8, 13 and 14 or something like that. I think it's what it is. With Vale winning and Parkville getting beat at the weekend, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's Kilree and
But
and
I
Burn,
think it looks like Kilree and Burn at the moment, yeah, which will be a big game too, because I don't know whether they've played each other on the grass or on the Astra.
I think Kilree went to Burn.
Well then, yeah,
I think
it's probably an advantage Kilree, being honest, because they'll be up for that. Well, whenever it happens, I don't know, but yeah, it looks like a 2-horse race for relegation, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah.
Tully Travel, Division 1, Ballymurphy 1, Slaney Rovers 2. In the Carlow Division 3, Nerney 6, Collection B 2, Bagnallstown 3, St Joseph's 1. In the Junior Shield, this is the ladies, is it? Yeah, ladies LFA Junior Shield. Vale Wonders bet Allenwood 3-0.
Very result,
and Baldoyle bet Parkville 4-2. It's a big. Yeah, Vale got bet in the final last year, right? In the Ladies League, Ballymurphy 2, Nerney 1, New Park 0, Mill Celtic 0. I think they're 2 top hitters, are they? In that division.
That's right, yeah.
Ballymurphy turned the corner there as well, another result. In the youths, Burn Celtic 2, Hanover Harp 6. Why did he get?
He wasn't playing. No.
Is he hurt?
No, he was suspended. He got
2
yellow cards in a previous game, or too many yellow cards, but he was suspended.
And he was okay for Sunday though?
He was okay for Sunday, yeah. And I think, which we'll do the fixtures in a minute, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
But no, he wasn't playing, but look, they picked up goals from other places, so they're a good youth team.
Yeah.
Young Sam McHugh got a couple from the middle of the field.
He's a good player, that lad.
Good lad, yeah. Yeah, he's a good lad.
Where are you? Where's you're talking about conveyor belts with John on there. What are you thinking?
Well,
Like there's 2 or 3 great youth teams that are coming through there now.
Well, sure, there's a couple of them coming through into it, like the Keane, Ben, Brandon. They're after coming into it. Luke. Scott Dunn has played
Branco.
Division 2.
Seen Branco's back at the weekend.
Yeah, Dylan Branco's back at the weekend. So there's another couple come into it, and them lads will be chaps coming in, but the lads who's there at the moment have to mature and will mature, but they have to get.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
It was a farmer to a pop. And
Good sign, though. Yeah,
for sure. In the under 18s, sorry, the Division 2 of the youths, Parkville 2, Newark 1, Ballymurphy 3, Vale Wanderers 4. I was talking to Owen Murphy from Vale Wanderers on that Vale Wanderers team. Watch this space. Nurney Villa 1, St. Felix 0, Ballymurphy 6, Vale 2. That was in the Girls 18s League. In the Shield final, Papa, we'll come back to the Shield final, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, we won't because it's the last game.
Right.
Felix 2, Newark 4. I wasn't at it. I heard about it.
I was at it, yeah.
Talk to me, Goose.
It's the biggest crowd I've seen in a match, apart from, I think, Newark and Bray in that Leinster senior game.
Go ahead.
It's definitely the biggest crowd I've seen down at St. Pat's.
Brilliant.
The Felix side, which is over at the shop side, say the Pat side, looks like they were 2 or 3 deep. I was standing at the back of the goal where I always stand. A couple of Felix lads with me, Mukpar and that, and with Stuart was with my brother Dots, and an absolute spectacle of football match. And from the very start, I mean, from the warm, like
music,
both teams in the, like proper drill tops.
Yeah,
all looked the part.
Yeah,
kids mascots. Kids came on before, and you walk against St. Felix.
Yeah,
the ball on the stand like you pick up in the Premier League. Like well done to the Carlow League.
Yeah, super event. I heard.
Oh, super event, and then there was a drawn picture.
Like the point where I was told a $5 in.
Yeah,
was actually cheap for that kind of showcase. Like lads had to be.
100%.
I would have paid $10 to go into that, no problem.
I would have, yeah. Well, I pay more. I just love going watching soccer, especially to local teams, and I knew it was going to be a good game. The first goal was crucial. You'd fancy if Newark would score, they'd be so good at keeping the ball and draw out St. Felix, and then maybe the Premier class might show against Division 1 class, but I tell you, St. Felix gave a good account of themselves.
Sure, great. Good side, Papa.
Yeah, they gave a proper account of themselves. Like the distribution from the goalkeeper was fantastic. Bobby Dowling got man of the match and deservedly so.
Brilliant.
He was brilliant.
Centre half or the 6?
No, centre half.
Okay.
Yeah. Young Bradley was brilliant beside him. And saying that, young Jake had a good game, but Jake was booked after about 5 or 6 minutes. And then and then Bobby got booked after maybe 5 minutes, 10 or 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes into the game. And then going, what team do we playing against is 2 of the back 3, the way to play.
On yellow cards, but they did fierce well. I thought Jaden Kelly who had a hard job that day because was he right? Was Jaden right?
He was right, and his job was sort of stopping, like get on the ball. He did well on the ball, but he's also stopping Dickey and Keane Cleary on the left hand side, which is
big ask.
My God! And
did Keane go inside and Dickey went?
Yeah. Sometimes, but then there was a lot of diagonal balls in the game from Skinner, who's fantastic at it.
Yeah,
he did like the diagonal balls, and it's not just
he's a ping, isn't he?
It's actually to the player's foot. Yeah, it's magic.
He's deadly at.
He's brilliant at. And it always turns the defender, and the player is on onside position, like into a deep position, and all of a sudden, the whole team has to shift. Backwards, which is really hard.
If you don't get there and win, you're fucked. Like.
You're in trouble.
If your starting position isn't correct, for that diag, you're in trouble.
No, sure, they've done fantastic. Honest to God, they're a really good game. Scored a brilliant goal to go 1-0 up. Newark were probably the better team with all the ball at the time, which you expect against Newark. There's not too many teams that Newark would play against that they don't have the ball.
Yeah. I've seen John O'Shea's goal.
Well,
to go 2-0.
Ben Dorgan gave an exhibition of hold-up play in that game. Now, look, he was probably lucky to stay on the field as well. Let's not make a mistake about that. He got booked for kicking away the ball, I believe. Rightly so, and then he had a couple of tackles after that. But I thought the referee for his first game. What's that?
He's a unit.
Oh, sure, he'd run all day. But they went 1-0 down, went 1-0 up, and then young Raycroft got sent off. Inexperience against an experienced player probably showed where the two of them square up to each other, and one went down easily, but the other one leaned into him. We didn't connect, didn't header him. I can clearly say that. Standing on the back of the goal, he didn't make any connection, but the referee had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
And it was a pity because Scott was having a proper game. He was having they actually had this, I think they switched Dickie from left full to right full after about 20 minutes because he was not terrorising, but he was getting the better of Dylan Kitely. And it's very hard to get the better of Dickie. But Dylan did okay, but he was getting the better of Dylan, but Dickie over there quieting him down a small bit, but he was really electric. Like, he was going through the ball, nicking the ball, picking it up, coming in behind people and nicking it off from behind, and then he got sent off, and I said, oh, here we go. No, I said, this is going to be new. I don't mean it like that. I mean, it's like, here we go. It's like, it's going to be bombarded now.
Turned,
and the game was so quiet, Podge. I couldn't believe it from New York.
Quiet.
It was so quiet. It was like, there's nothing in this. And New York had all the ball, but Craig wouldn't have any saves to make, a couple of catches or set pieces or something. And then, I don't know who gave the ball originally into Ben Dorgan. Well, he held up the ball, turned the lads, kept 2 or 3 touches, 4 touches maybe, kept the ball, like in tight areas against 2 or 3 New York players around him. Passed the ball out, I think it was with his brother Aaron. And Aaron hit a first time pass over the right full. Yeah, over the right full.
Yeah. And
Johnny John took a touch and it came across him, but he drilled it back in across Corey Harmon in the goal. Super finish. And 2-0, and I said, I think it was 87 minutes. I think I was timing it, 87 minutes. But you got to admire your walk, Badge.
Absolutely.
They just never ever stop, and they never panic. It was like they weren't going from Skinner straight up bypassing midfield. They kept going into Dean, going into James McGrath. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And but the ball, Podge was always, it was brilliant. Like to see them doing it. The ball would go into the box, and it'd go among 3 or 4 Phoenix lads and 3 or 4 New York lads. But only 1 or 2 New York lads would contest the ball, and the other 2 feet off to the edge of the box. And that's where the goal came from.
Okay.
The ball came out.
Seconds.
I think Bobby or young Bradley won the header, and the second ball came out, and I think it was the first time shot from Chris Blake. It took a little bit of a deflection that the goalkeeper didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I was talking to the lads after.
Isn't he, Chris Blake?
And then Davy Dale came on as a sub, and he was so calm and very neat and tidy on the ball. And
he's a very good soccer player.
Young Brady scored to make it 2-2. And in fairness to Phoenix, they were probably dead on their feet and they were tired, and there was a couple of lads who were big players for them that gone off with cramp, or do you know what I mean? And New York's bench made a big difference to the game against Phoenix bench. Not disrespecting anybody there, but it really did, and it stood out in the night that the players that New York brought on were better than the players that Phoenix could bring on for their team.
Gotcha.
Do you know? And then up steps the man, young lad by the name of Dean Kelly, and scores 2 goals in extra time. The first half of extra time was just quiet, and I thought
they usually are, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought Phoenix would be disappointed with the third goal.
Okay.
I was talking to Bobby and Work, and I thought, and I'm not blaming Bobby, but I was like, I thought they could have defended it better. It was just a tip off, and within 30 seconds it was like a ball over the top, and Dean made a great run, and it was at the other end of the goal, the other end of the pitch, but I believe it was an incredible angle he scored from, and then the third goal went in, or that was the third goal, and the fourth goal went in close to the end of the extra time, but super move from just a 1-2 from Dean, gets it back and bends it in the far corner.
Yeah, different level.
Dino does what Dino does, you know.
Different level.
But I tell you, credit where credit is due. St. Fees gave a great account of themselves. The Carol Lee put on a super show, making it feel professional, like picking the ball off the stand. Just, you know, small things like that, Podge, that are getting better. The announcement of they'd done a draw for different cups at half time.
Brilliant.
And he was like, this is going places.
Brilliant,
you got to admire them. You got to admire them.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Did a fantastic show.
As much as you want to be defiant and go against them because they're the authority. Yeah. You just fucking can't.
Oh, no.
Because they're doing absolutely outstanding. Yeah. And I find myself having a much better relationship. I don't know if it's because of this platform or it's because I've matured that I'm now for nearly 40 years of age. Well, I find myself more willing to reach out and help them and ask them and advise.
I think the episode with Brian really opened everybody's eyes.
I think so. I opened my eyes on you.
You know what I mean? I knew they did incredible work. No one said they didn't do incredible work before that. But
no transparency.
Let's publicise the work they're doing. And
now people
there. Know, and they're like, Jesus, well done, lads.
Yeah. But fair play to you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was 500 at the game, Badge, and I'd say there was a lot of kids at. But
on a Saturday night in February, lad.
300 people were paying in out of 500. It was 200 kids and 300 adults, maybe. And that shop in St. Pat's never stopped going.
You'll go and put extensions.
Yeah.
Like
Pop bought me a cup of tea. Fair play, Pop.
Did he?
He said he bought you a coffee. Did he? He bought you a coffee in Rico's?
Oh, he got me in
Rico's. What do you call it? Seaboy.
Yeah, he got me a coffee, yeah. I actually offered to pay for his and he wouldn't let me.
He didn't say that.
Yeah.
And I did. I'm only messing.
Come here, a new segment, Papa.
Yeah.
We're getting questions in every week.
Okay.
I've had a brainwave.
Talk to me.
The best question are going to win 2 spice bags.
The best.
Do you like a spice bag?
I like a spice bag, yeah.
The best question that comes in, we'll say, okay, yeah, it's the best question.
I cry like a baby over it, but I like a spice bag.
Why do you cry over it?
Oh, man, I used to run over taco fries. I'm a disaster, man. I'm not messing. Disaster. Yeah. Well, that's the cigar. Just spicy food. Just
you're like that statue in Knock, aren't you?
Frozen tears.
Yeah. It's so the winner to get the win 2 spice bags delivered to your door.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're in Djibouti or wherever, some people listen to, spice bags might be a thing out there, but in the region or in the country, we can go on your Just Eat and send you 2 spice bags. Yeah. So we'll pick the best question. So I'm going to pick 4 or 5. So here's the first one. I actually like this. It's one of your lads, Brandon Cassidy.
Oh yeah.
No, let's make this rapid, right? Don't think about it.
Right.
Predict the next 5 Premier League winners starting this year. No, it doesn't have to be chronological. So I'm going to go Newark. I'm going to go St. Pat's.
So Newark, your first one is this season?
No particular order.
Okay.
Newark, St. Pat's, Cretty Yard, Phoenix. And I'm going to only pick 4. I think them 4 clubs are going to be thereabouts in the next 5 years.
Newark, St. Pat's, Cretty Yard, Hanover. Good youths coming through.
Yeah.
Juvenile system coming through.
Hanover
Gotta
will be
get
5th.
it right.
Hanover will be 5th.
And you got to say Phoenix the way they're playing, yeah. Yeah.
They're going to be thereabouts.
Look, they deserve to be in the... They're like the Leeds of the fucking championship, or Division 1 at the moment. They're too big to be down there. And they're doing it right off the field as well as on the field, which is good. So,
well, look, holding potential Leinster semi-final, holding last year's Leinster semi-finalists, getting bet 1-0 by North End, blowing everyone around them out of the water, right? And to have things right off the field through support, through sponsorship, through whatever it may be, through where the club is run. You couldn't overlook them.
No.
You couldn't say, they'll struggle.
But I was talking to a couple of neutrals, Podge, after the game, or the next couple of days, doing the post and that, and I'm like, we down at the game the other night, yeah. These are not involved in my club, your club, Newark or Phoenix. And they're like, that's a good squad of players, isn't it? There's some units on it, don't they? And I said, they do. Yeah. I said, it comes back to the same thing as age. You take Bobby out of that. I think the oldest is 24.
Yeah. Is it even?
Well, Ben Dorgan is 23 or 4, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know whether he is.
Is Ben 20?
He mightn't even be that. But I think he's the eldest after that.
Ben.
They would like to have... They have a lot of attributes.
I know Luke Murphy's there as well. Luke could be born 98, so what's that, 26?
Yeah.
So they're all under 30 outside the Bobby.
Well under 30, yeah. You know, and they have a goalkeeper there that is in the squad with Oscar trainers. And made a great account of himself this year. So, yeah.
Feek O'Rourke asked. I think Feek is Dockett's young lad, is he? Is he? I don't know. Best team in Carlow?
Newark.
Honky Tonk 52. I know who this is.
Honky Tonk 52?
Did you see the picture up on Instagram? No. It's the worst question I ever... From an intelligent man, it's the worst question I ever seen in my whole life.
Tell me who it is.
Pass Mullen.
Honky Tonk 52.
That's his moniker. That's what he goes by. Honky Tonk 52. That's a running job.
Hey, Honky Tonk.
He wants to know on the photo last week, why'd you have platform shoes on? Grow up, pal, will you? You. Conor Daly. This is a great question.
Who's for?
Conor Daly.
Yeah.
You think Conor's Vale? I think he's Jason's older brother, right?
You're right.
If you could add 3 teams into the Premier Division that don't exist anymore, who are they? Okay.
Drefford.
Yeah, go on.
That don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Strefford to be one. Fuck me. Don't exist anymore.
I'll go what you're thinking. Strefford.
Yeah.
Walkerstown. The Harps.
Grey Cullen Harps?
Yeah.
No, the red and green.
Yeah, sure, I have to go on my own parish.
Walkerstown, yeah. Killian's.
Okay. It was between Harps and Barrow Rovers for me. Good question, huh?
Here's Honky Tonk 52 in it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And I wouldn't mind he's an intelligent guy, like, do you know what I mean? There's just no need for that kind of garbage.
Is he?
Yeah. Have you done a charity game where you each get to pick a Carlow selection and get a good crowd down at it? That's from Mark Dolan. So, Mark, we are actually going to do an all-star game.
Mark from Tulla.
Yeah, the goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
We're going to do an episode at the end of the season. We're going to do a draft episode where we get someone in with Papa, and we'll do the same as we done last year. So 3 players, you pick a player each, and then we'll contact them players, get them down, give them their all-star jersey. You play at a match. We'll run it for charity.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're going to do, yeah.
If you were to pick one club in Ireland into the Premier, who would it be? Is it Premier Dairies, Premier League, Premier Furniture? What's he talking about? Premier what?
Well,
Premier League. Is he talking about like a club from Ireland playing the Premier League in England?
one club from Ireland maybe to play in the Carlow Premier, is it?
Silly.
Or just pick North End, put them in there, see what they do.
Well, if I think it's...
Or Villa.
If I think it's Aaron Carney, if I think it's what do you mean, Aaron, I'd say Shamrock Rovers to go on to the Premier League. Sure, they're the flagship team now, surely, aren't they?
They are the big boys of the Irish League.
They are, they're the franchise, aren't they? Greatest player he coached North End. Sorry, Murt, that's Murt Bambrick. He's gone, Murt.
He said Spot, didn't he?
He did say Spot, yeah. This is the last one. Should some of Carlow teams be playing in League of Ireland? If yes, who?
Carlow players.
Carlow teams.
Carlow teams, not League of Ireland, no.
I agree, no. Do you
Players,
want to say
some players, yeah.
teams, no.
Not players.
Clubs, no.
Not clubs, no. Not good enough.
What's your reason?
Not good enough. As a team. Individually, some players are.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, we said it many times.
I think a Carlow club looking to join the third tier of League of Ireland is idiocy at its highest level.
Absolutely. Well, it's not. They're miles off it.
And that's no disrespect.
And I'm not talking about, you can say, oh, sure, they could play out a team and draw 1-1 with them.
I think
Do it over the course of a season.
No, here's the thing. I think no could go into a third tier of League of Ireland and hold their own. But you're talking about, we just mentioned it, you're talking about finance, you're talking about infrastructure, you're talking about coaching structure.
What's the figure, John Kev? 379,000?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's the
For academy soccer.
That's why I would say no, junior club shouldn't be going into that.
And these episodes that we're doing with these likes of John open their eyes to people, like, to think it's only a matter of registering and you're in. It's not. 379,000 is some figure to run the club for a year, or two teams.
I think the actual quality of the players in a club isn't the problem.
No,
I think it's everything else is the problem for a club. Like 6 lads on a committee who work full time and run a club day to day wouldn't go to that League of Ireland level. No,
but let's put the other hat on it and say everything in the background is correct. They have the money, they have the people upstairs, the people on the bench.
Okay.
That managing the coaching is fantastic, but they're managing that team in a League of Ireland team. They're not good enough.
Okay.
End of story.
Would you not think no can hold their own in a third tier?
We're not on it. It's not available yet.
Okay,
it's not available yet.
Yeah. Have you considered politics?
No.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Your answers there have been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's it. If you put that in your walk team, not disrespecting your walk,
into Division 1.
Put them into Division 1 for a season.
Probably come last, yeah.
They're last.
Yeah.
Like they're.
The third tier isn't there now, so you can't use that.
No, you can't use it.
Yeah. Oh, you're spot on.
Yeah. You can't use it. So
you're not as stupider as you look.
Well, I look stupid sometimes. Want to see me on a Saturday night?
Saturday night gone?
No. I haven't been out really since Stevens' night. But
since you got Bardo Ballyhealy and Ballymuffin in your dance.
Sometimes it'll be like Rob Nesbitt tells you.
Who's the winner? What was the best question? Oh, no. Oh, here's another one. King Connolly. When Phil Lena went to Cray, did it feel like when Figo went from Barcelona to Madrid?
When Phil Lena went to Cray, no. Well, he had it. Look, I was still playing at the time, and Phil is in a similar position to me. Sometimes you play left back in that Cray team. I won't tell you a lie. I made a go sometimes to try and go in them harder because I was like, fuck you. But then people could have done it to me. I did the same with when Left Hanover went to Strefford, but didn't feel like that. No, I had great respect for that man on and off the field. Hurt at the time, but he had his reasons. He stood by them and he still stands by them.
His reasons were
valid.
Weren't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, Tomas Walsh, last question. Any more live shows planned, Pop?
Yeah, we don't know where yet, but no, there is
definitely
one.
We're
speaking about one, yeah.
We're definitely going to have one August, September time.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be big.
And just on Thomas Walsh, the photos he's taken,
He should be
quality-wise.
Want to be ashamed of himself. Thunder Tom.
He's done
no
fantastic.
Lex player of mine.
Yeah, he's done fantastic.
Pictures are absolutely
Super
outstanding.
golfer.
Good golfer.
Pamphlets of one.
Wasn't a bad soccer player. I used to call him Thunder Tom. He used to get one screamer a year.
Thunder
Johnny Fiore christened Thunder Tom. Get one screamer
What
a year.
name?
Yeah.
Better than Honky Tonk 52 anyway, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's a great name. Honky Tonk 52
Honky
was
Tonk.
the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we want to go back to Scrags and maybe do a smaller one, maybe April, May time. Get on a guest. And might do an end of season wrap up show in Scrags, just a small one. And we're definitely going to look to do a big one in August anyway.
That's the goal, isn't it?
That's the goal, that's the target.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
It'll obviously
But
be-
now that we're kind of been ran by a proper production company, Ampifi and all that crack, and do you know what I mean? They're firing money at us and we're getting photo shoots and all this opportunities. And, yeah.
Do you like the photo shoots, Podge?
No, I absolutely don't. Do you ever
It's
see me now?
time for Two Peas
Do you ever
in a
look at yourself and think,
podcast.
fuck you?
Podge
No,
versus
I think the
Papa.
opposite.
Sponsored by Kelly Auto
Hodge versus
Repairs.
Papa.
Talk to me. Yeah.
I think I'm first this week, right? Clash in Hanover this weekend.
What's the results anyway? They closed the gap?
Oh, you did, yeah? Close.
Did I?
You did. I got no points.
I got 4, did I?
Got 2.
What did I do?
You got 2. You didn't get Hanover, right?
No.
You didn't get. You got the point for Cretty winning.
Only 1 point. Oh, was it 1 point for a win and 3 for
Yeah.
the correct score?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
And I got
man.
collection, didn't I?
This is week 10 of Closure as well.
No. I got
And you got collection 2-1 against
Okay.
Kerry. 2 points. Okay.
Dupois.
You were on 38. 38 plus 2.
You know what I said in work, Podge? Don't panic. Panic is for tires. I said, I think that's pressure, bud.
Collection versus Hanover. In Collection Friday night. Papa, I have to go with Collection. I'm going to go 2-0 Collection.
2-1 Hanover.
Fair play to you, bud. Pats versus Burn Celtic Saturday night. I'm going to go 3-1 St. Pat's. I think Burn are going to absolutely go and die on the pitch.
You say this every week.
They do want to give everything.
Do you think everybody hates you or something?
They do, yeah.
No, they don't.
They do. Go on.
I think 4-0 to St. Pat's.
Yeah, but Burn have to win. Like, did not get relegated.
Oh, you have to get up in the morning and go to work.
Oh, you're going to say you're not going to get up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is mean, you know, it's...
Shut up. Parkville versus Bagnallstown. In Parkville, is it? Sorry, I usually write them down correctly, but I was in a rush today. You know, I was doing my normal job, like doing my day to day.
Well, you want to give up that normal job.
Yeah,
It's more important.
never. Pension's too good, but
In this?
yeah. It's in Parkville, yeah. That will be a battle. That's going to be,
My prediction will depend on your prediction. That's how tight that game is going to be.
yeah. Bagnallstown hard to break down.
Apart from the last 2 weeks have been fantastic.
Well, I tell you, I see Donald Smithers there doing the warm up for them, and I would have known Donald as a player. I'll tell you one thing: that Parkville team screamed Donald Smithers.
To do.
The way to play.
Yeah. Tough.
Sorry, that's not Donald. Donald's younger brother, Pip. Sorry, Pip. I do sincerely apologise. That team screams Philip. It really does. However, Danny Doyle has the X factor and can score at any minute. I'm trying to think. Look at you looking at me, you douchebag.
Douchebag. You're going to go for a Desmond, are you?
No. I think it's going to be big either way. I'm going to go Parkville 2-1 by the skin of their teeth. If they can go out and close the lines between the spaces when they're defending and be stern, they have enough going forward to score goals. The only reason they didn't score against Crittayard the weekend is because they were very poor. The decision making was very poor. I think if they can get that right during the week, they'll score goals. What do you think?
Parkville 1. Bagnallstown 2.
Oh, you're getting close now, aren't you? It's getting good. It's coming up. What's the forfeit, by the way? No idea, is not.
Shane Deers. I think it's, I don't know what.
By the way, Shane Deere, I have a jersey there, and I have a few jerseys, lads, that still have to be
Mine is all
collected,
gone.
or I can post it.
That's bad.
What?
Bad management from you. Mine
Is
are
it?
all gone. Postman delivered them.
Yours are all gone.
All done. Delivered to the house. They're in.
All done. Who got
All
them off Curra Sports and got them in, and who brought them to you?
Oh, did you?
Sure, right.
Oh, yeah,
listen,
thanks.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Don't fucking play that game with me. I don't fucking. I'll curse on this. I'll curse. No, I just there's 3 at home that I know. There's a few lads that get them. Lads, I can post them out to you either. Just send me your address and I'll get them posted out to you. By carrier pigeon.
I'll get them. Yeah.
Right, fixtures, Papa. This has been the longest episode of history of football, hasn't it? Collection versus yourselves in the youths. Hanover versus Crit Yard.
That's
Title clash.
Hanover win the league.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's what I was told. I think, yeah, they're 6.
I might go up to that. I think I'm at home on Saturday. I don't
Be a
even
good
work on
game.
the Saturday.
Be up by myself now, yeah. Be a good game. Crit Yard are good, like, as well.
I must ask yourself what we don't. Why you work on
They
Saturday?
avoided each other in the Leinster Youth Cup as well, which is good.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Who did Hanover draw?
Suncroft.
Oh, Kildare.
And, yeah, I'm not sure who Crit Yard got.
In the Division 2, Vale Wonders versus St. Pat's, Newark versus Ballymurphy, and Bagnallstown B versus Parkville. In the ladies 18, St. Felix versus Durney, Vale Wonders versus Ballymurphy. In the Premier Division Saturday night, St. Pat's Boys versus Burn Celtic. In the Leinster Junior Cup, revenge on the hands, hopefully, for Newark versus Wexford Boys. That's Sunday morning. That is Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Yeah. In the Premier Division, Parkville versus Bagnallstown. Slaney versus Felix, Dolman versus Mill Celtic, Ballymurphy versus St. Pat's B. And in the Division 2, Castle Rangers versus Dolman Celtic, Bonglasstown versus Newark B, Nurney Villa versus Bagnallstown, Joseph versus Hanover, and Ballymurphy B versus Woolfield. That's all in Division 3, Poppet.
Why don't you wear your glasses doing this? You're like Bird's Eye Billy
I know,
over there with
yeah,
the one eye glove.
they're in the van. If we take them all. What was that? What was the name of your man in the Goonies? One Eye Willie.
Slaw.
No, One Eye Willie. Oh, fuck you, Slaw. Fuck you, Slaw.
One Eye Willie, yeah.
That's
One Eye Willie.
Oh, Cod Eye saw I'm looking at the arc. I'm like the pirate in the Simpsons, 2 glass eyes. In the Ladies League in the Premier, Mill Celtic versus Pats, Crit Yard versus Vale Wanderers, Ballymurphy versus New Park. That is it for this week, lads. Give us a follow on the socials. We're hitting it big time on TikTok. 500 followers on TikTok, Papa. Is that big time? Probably not, is it?
I don't know.
I don't have no idea. We are going to start bringing more content on that platform as well. Subscribe to the YouTube page. What question did we pick as the best question for a Spice Bag winner? Good Brandon Cassidy, will we? 5 Premier winners in the next. Who's
yeah.
in? Brandon Cassidy, get in contact with myself or Papa. Let us know when you want the Spice Bags. We'll send them over to you there. Or we'll send you a few bob for them, whatever it is. As always, lads, it's not my podcast.
Not my podcast.
It's Carlos Soccer's podcast. It's your podcast. What a fucking episode.
Brilliant, yeah.
God bless you. Good luck. Good night. All the best.
That's full time on this episode of the How Is He podcast. Available on all podcasting platforms. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter/X. Proudly sponsored by Curra Sports. For more information, contact Shane@currasports.com or check out their website, currasports.com.